Get to your Toyota dealer now because this truck event is gonna be Toyota. Let's go places. Offers available through TFS to buyers with premium-rated credit. Cashback available through TMNA and cannot be combined with other offers. Ends 11/3/25.
Ready to pregame for your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years where aloha is served daily. Located just steps from the arena, whether it's game day or a concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those fresh, delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes. On a Thursday, Friday Eve, Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And we are back at it again, talking about the same thing that we talked about to start off the show yesterday. Another loss, but this loss, not the same as the we can hide behind the, oh, well, it's the champs, even though they're missing production. They're two top three players from the production standpoint. They're missing those guys, but they're still the champs. They're still the champs. Hey, don't sleep on Case and Wallace. We can't do that today because you lost to my guy, Matas Buzelis. Vucevic, obviously Kobe White didn't play. And hey, I thought it was disrespectful. I thought it was disrespectful that Vegas had Chicago as 4.5-point favorites. You know, it was disrespectful to Chicago. Little did I know that hours later, the Kings would be subbing out their starters with over 2 minutes left, down 15. Little did I know that. Little did I know that they had to throw in the towel, even though they don't play again until Saturday. Little did I know. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us today. Thank you, Kyle. Just delivered the box score. Little did I know. But I know now. I understand it now. I understand that this team is unserious. I understand that I guess I'm going to be called a Debbie Downer for pointing out the obvious. I also understand that there is a path to fix this in the short term, of course. And there's one player in particular that if the Kings, all they got to do is move this guy And it'll make all of us feel much better.
Daquan Plowden.
Never that. Never that. I do understand that much. So we'll tell you who that is, obviously, throughout the course of the show. Brett Siegel will join us at 11 o'clock to break down what he's hearing. And the reality is, not to kill a tease here, but we're still so early into the season, nobody is looking to move anyone yet. But there are going to be some whispers as this thing starts to move forward and accelerate. Because the Magic, again, another team, the Magic are struggling, right? They can't do anything. People don't know what the deal is with Paolo Banchero. I believe they're 1-4 as well. So there are a couple teams that are off to hot starts. There are a couple teams that are off to slow starts. But obviously, no real big rumors are going to be thrown around yet. This is just to start the conversation. And realistically, this is what happens when your team is trash, right? When your team is playing like trash this early. We have to have these conversations because obviously we can't go through 70 whatever more games of this. Nobody wants to do that. So Brett's coming up at 11. We'll talk about if he's hearing anything yet and his thoughts on when we could hear something.
Did you see Brett broke some news this morning?
Which news was that?
That the Pelicans are considering firing Willie.
I saw that.
How about that?
I mean, anything Pelicans, Kyle, I just keep scrolling, brother.
Brett Siegel, the Siegel scoop, though.
I got enough bleep going on in my own life to worry about some damn Pelicans. But thank you for that, Kyle. 916-339-1140. If you've called me a Debbie Downer in the past, tell me why I shouldn't be that. Give me the positives, because I do have some positives today. It comes at the expense of one player, but some might say free this man. So I do have some positives today. I can't do it, right? I'm going to talk about, and again, I'm more upset that Doug pulled out the players versus them losing. Like them losing, this is just not a good basketball team. We know that now. And some of you already knew it. Some of you assumed it. But as of right now, and I'll again be a little bit more optimistic with it, without Keegan Murray, this is for sure not a good basketball team. We don't know what this team is with Keegan Murray. The problem is a fourth of the season will be over before Keegan comes back. And if they keep losing games like this, it won't matter that Keegan returns. It just won't matter. So this team without Keegan is not a good team. I don't know what it is at full strength, right? A lot of these teams aren't full strength. Bulls don't have Kobe White, number one scorer from last season for them. After, obviously, they made those trades. But Bulls don't have Kobe White. They still won. Matas Buzelis balled out. I tried to tell y'all, the dude is a bucket. He is an absolute bucket. So we have that for you. I promise I'm not going to sit here and yell and scream for 4 hours. I don't want to do it. It is not something that I don't think anybody wants to hear. It's just too long of a season, honestly. Right? I wasted all my bleepers a couple days ago. And the Thunder game now, I guess, looks better. I mean, they completely sleptwalk. I know it's second half of back-to-back, but that's what happened to the Thunder. And I'm watching it, still trying to be optimistic, thinking, okay, eventually somebody's going to go off. Eventually DeMar DeRozan is going to take over in the fourth. I did not take the Bulls seriously. I'm going to be honest with you. I got hoodwinked and bamboozled against the Thunder, but I kind of saw it coming because that's what they do against elite teams. I thought for sure the Kings were going to to be honest with you, I'm watching that game smelling overtime. That's what I was smelling the whole time. The Bulls are going to trick something off. DeMar's going to get hot. Levine's going to get hot, and they're going to get to overtime, and I think the Kings will win it. That's what I thought. And they just could not buy a stop. To start getting into that third quarter, a 4-minute run, it was 22-2, a 22-2 run from the end of halftime, right before halftime to early fourth. The Bulls scored 71 points in 17 minutes. That crazy run, in 4 minutes, they went on a 22-2 run. But we ain't worried about the offense. Oh, no. The offense will take care of itself. No, you have good scores. That's the other thing. The Kings have good scores. They don't have a good offense, right? Like, if you have a good offense, hey, and we can take it to baseball. And shout out to the Blue Jays, saving us. I got to deal with Aiden O'Connell. Okay, any other Kings Raiders people out there? I got to deal with Aiden O'Connell's return. I know nobody cares about fantasy, but I've been cooking in my River Cats league. Baker has a bye. Kyle, you know who was staring me in the bleeping face last night?
Tua?
No, but you're close. Think about what I just said.
Baker on a bye.
Who could be staring me right in the face?
Oh, I know who's staring you in the face. Is it Gino in a dome?
Gino in a dome, baby. Take us to the promised land, Gino. So I'm in sports hell. And the only thing that I have to hold on to, and now it's going to get dicey, because now the Blue Jays are going to have all the pressure. But the only thing I can hold on to is that the Blue Jays are beating down on the Dodgers. That's it. Because outside of that, this is trash. This is absolutely trash. And I just don't understand some of the decisions that have been made. By the way, 12 o'clock, we're going to talk about that player. I believe all you got to do is move him and things would look different. We're going to talk about that with Frankie Cardicelli and Brendan Nunez. That's coming up at 12, okay? You know what? I need sounders for Brendan, too. I don't know why Frankie only gets the sounder. Brendan's on the show more.
We could use the one that Verlad uses for him if I could find it on his board with 1,000 buttons.
No, we can't get into that conversation again. Yeah, I'm good with that. They all deserve sounders, and we got to find one. Chris Watkins doing some stuff with Jason Ross today, and they're doing great digital for Sac State. So Chris won't be on, so it won't be a full roundtable, but Frankie and Brendan will be in the building at 12. And again, I'm not going to sit here. We're going to go through the box score in about 20 minutes, but I'm not going to sit here and just complain because this team, it's not worth complaining about. It's the same thing. I love to talk relationships here on the show and my dating shows. If somebody is not investing in you, don't waste your time investing in them. Like the Kings, you're pulling your guys out with 2 minutes, 24 seconds left in the game, down 14 to the Bulls, 5th game of the season. You don't play again till Saturday, but we're supposed to take this team to be some hard-nosed, old school, we're going to be the best condition. Really? In this NBA, Zach LaVine gets on a heater. You know what's in front of you with the Bucks. And next week, the Nuggets, the Warriors, and you can't even finish that game. And then you got, I'm going back and forth with people in the Bay about Zach LaVine's stat padding. Stat padding? What the hell Zach LaVine got a stat pad for? The brother's making $50 million. He's going to opt into 50 more. It's not a contract season for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine wanted to win. That's how I'm seeing it. Zach LaVine wanted to win. And I wish all the other starters said, no, Doug, we're not checking out. We're not checking out. But no, they slap hands. Why the hell are they slapping hands? That's like when that's like when they tap I hate this. And this is going to sound real good off my lawn. And maybe it'll give me 3 more gray hairs. But when they're tapping the kicker's helmet after he misses a field goal or an extra point, what the hell are you tapping his helmet for? He missed. Hey, man, hey, good effort, man. Good effort. You got owned by Vucevic, Isaac Okoro, Matas Buzelis, Trey Jones, Josh Giddey. Kevin Huerter dropped 18 on your head.
Kevin Huerter.
Patrick Williams got the double digits on you. And we're going to slap hands, slap butts, and sit them down with over 2 minutes left? Really? And Kings fans are supposed to battle with their cousins that are Warrior fans, that they're coworkers that are Laker fans, and try to defend this? There's nothing to defend. You didn't defend it for yourself. You threw in, what's that from Rocky? Throw the damn towel. That's what you did. It wasn't 24. It wasn't 34. It was 14 points in this NBA. Go sit on the bench, guys. We got to rest. We got a game, checks notes, on Saturday. On Saturday. Not Thursday. Not Friday. Saturday.
Hey, Allen, maybe they have a long travel day from Notes, Chicago to Milwaukee.
Yeah, what are they doing today?
Driving to Milwaukee.
Second half of a back-to-back. Okay, well, I guess that's what happens when you have the nursing home. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Hey, at least we got to see Keon close out a game, though. We did get to see Keon play at the end of a fourth quarter. We did see that. Somebody on the text line already, Allen, the Bulls scored 71 points in 17 minutes. Did I hear that correct? Yeah, you did.
I added the numbers a little bit. That's my bad. It was actually 71 points in 19 minutes.
Sorry. 71 points in 19 minutes. Don't leave me out hanging the dry like that.
Math is hard for me. I messed that up. That's off me, Coach. It was only 71 points in 19 minutes.
That's completely different. That's respectable. That is respectable. So,
forever, that's a quarter and a half.
We finally got to see Keon close a game. And we were doing the hockey change with over 2 minutes left. And we're supposed to believe, against the Bulls, by the way, and yeah, they're playing well. And we're supposed to believe that this team is some semblance of a competitor. Not right now. Maybe things will change. But not right now. Somebody said, don't forget, they said Jalen Smith. Yeah, Jalen Smith had 10. He had 10, 5 boards, 19 minutes. This was just a showcase game. Why would the Bulls blow it up? I'm talking about the draft. The draft, the Bulls might get to the second round playing like this. That's what the Kings made them look like. And you know, I thought about this, and it's been a while, Kyle. Let's get that Sal Espresso. Thank you, Kyle. I thought about this, and I didn't know how I wanted to approach it. But I had this, and y'all can tell me if this is a reach or not. But I saw a very obvious parallel last night. You know, I got the baby, so a couple hours of sleep might be missing. But in my mind, this made a ton of sense to me. So I'm listening to Zach LaVine at the end of the game. And Zach LaVine closed the game. Bulls, it was a homecoming for Zach LaVine. And Zach LaVine was talking about how Chicago will always be home for him and how he became a man in Chicago. He grew his family in Chicago, and it just gave me the craziest thought. The Kings, as people like to joke, are indeed replicating Sacramento with the A's. Prioritizing rentals over those who are willing to call you home. Zach LaVine won't call you home. DeMar DeRozan, even though he's only 6 hours away, 7 hours away, he won't really call you home. Dennis Schroeder won't call you home. And Russell Westbrook won't call you home. But you've prioritized these guys over players that don't want Sacramento to be a rental. Domantas Sabonis being forgotten on offense. Malik on the trade block. Keon Ellis could lose him at the end of the season. Both of them fighting for playing time. These guys are dang near the River Cats of the Sacramento Kings. Oh, we got to make sure DeMar gets his time. We got to make sure Russell Westbrook gets his time. We got to make sure Dennis Schroeder gets his time. Zach LaVine gets his time. And these guys, this is a pit stop for them. This is, hey, okay, cool. Sacramento Kings going to give me the most money? All right, let's go and get on over there. I love Sacramento. Isn't that by the bay? Yeah, let's go. Isn't that the state capital? Oh, yeah, let's go over there. Oh, Sacramento want to give me a job? I was on my yacht. I'll go head on over to Sacramento. Oh, I love Sacramento. It's got great weather out there. What are they famous for? The farm capital, farm to fork capital. Yeah, I love it over there. Let's go over there. Then you got Keon Ellis, who you signed battling for playing time. Malik Monk, who, he didn't really have choices, whatever. Malik Monk wanted to stay in Sacramento. He's the damn pizza guy. Malik Monk got a battle for playing time.
I'm a pizza guy.
And you wanted to move him. You're probably still trying to move him. Domantas Sabonis, who you made one of the most polarizing decisions for. Domantas Sabonis. Now he's an afterthought on offense. And these guys are going to come and go, just like the A's are going to come and go. And let's hope you don't damage relationships of those who wanted to stay. Well, when I'm at River Cats games, there's some people that say, oh, yeah, I went to an A's game here or there. I'm at River Cats games. No, I don't go to the A's games, man. The Sacramento River Cats. That's why I'm here. It's Sacramento. I've been going to River Cats since it was under the Giants. Now it's under the A's, but it doesn't matter who they're really under because I'm a River Cats fan. That's what it's always going to be. The Kings. Domantas Sabonis, yeah, he lives in Napa, but he wants to be in Sacramento. Assist numbers down. He got to 18 last night. Points down, shots down, assist numbers down. Malik Monk, been balling. Can't close the game. Oh, it's the defense. Okay, well, the defense didn't matter much with Austin Reeves, who hit another game winner, by the way. Defense didn't matter much with Austin Reeves. Defense didn't matter very much with Oklahoma City Thunder. And you also couldn't put the biscuit in the basket. Keon Ellis told me to my face on these airwaves, yeah, it would have been nice. Would have been nice to, come to an agreement, not have to go to unrestricted free agency. Wants to be here. The only, not my words, a Kings front office member, to Keith Smith. He's the only, he can do things nobody else on this team can do, specifically at that guard position. All these guys put on the back burner, right? You ever cooking and, the pot's too big, so you got your rice on one pot, the smaller pot, and then you're cooking on the other. You forget the rice in the back. Now it's all nasty and gummy, or it's dried out. That back burner, you got to pay attention to it, but you're too worried about the front. But you need everything to come together in order to make a good meal. You spend all that time on what's on the front burners, not paying attention to the back, and now the meal's jacked up. And that's what's happening right now with the Sacramento Kings. They are rentals. That's what they are. This is a collection of, it's almost like a JUCO, right? It's like the transfer portal. Just a bunch of guys that are together for now, just waiting to see where they go next, right? We just saw that a 33-year-old, as Tony Vitello is going to get introduced today for the Giants, and he's the first to jump from college to the major league ranks, a 33-year-old who had been managing in the Rays organization. The Nationals hired him, 33 years old, hadn't seen it before. And they're going in that direction to see what they can do. The Sacramento Kings have a collection of players that I don't know if they think they're going to be together the whole season. I don't know if they care. But the reason I bring that up is because in the minors, you're a team. You enjoy everyone's company, but you're looking out for yourself. You're trying to get pulled up, right? Oh, we won a championship, but if you didn't play well, you're there for a reason. But the reason is not that team. You go JUCO, I have some of the best memories ever at JUCO. But the number one goal was to get out of JUCO. Right? You get the memories, cool, but I'm on my way somewhere else. I don't know what the purpose of this team is, but it's looking very last chance you-ish. That's what it's looking like. And that's what they're playing like. And 5 games into the season, to ask the good people of Sacramento, the good people all around the Sacramento area, the 209, the 916, the 530, shout out the Dirty 530, all of these areas, to ask them to spend their time, their hard-earned money, and you couldn't spend 2 more minutes and 24 seconds on the court getting paid millions and millions of dollars, down 14 to a Bulls team that's not slated to make the playoffs when you don't play again until Saturday. You don't play again until Saturday. And I'll be you-know-what if I see them out golfing today or whatever the hell they might be doing. That's their prerogative. That's fine. But then on the other side, you want us to take you seriously. I can't take that seriously. I can't. There was absolutely no reason. They need more time together. They need more cohesiveness. Was the game probably out of reach? Maybe. Kyle, we can look this up right now. I'm fairly sure. What game was it? Didn't the Kings blow a double-digit lead with 2 minutes left last season? I don't know if it was 14, but we've seen the Kings do it. They've literally blown games up double digits with 2 minutes. I don't know. I cannot remember. Help me out. Sack chat and text line. I know for a fact it happened last season.
I know Pistons was 7 and 40 seconds, but I can't.
Well, there you go. Do the math. 40 seconds times 2, 7 times 2. That's 14. That's right there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
They could have won it.
We'll never know because Kyle, 2 minutes, over 14, Kyle. He sent them to the table at 16. Okay. But 14 when Zach was done shooting.
Hey, man, I've seen teams pull players for less points. I've seen teams pull players for more points. It wasn't my biggest takeaway from the game is, my God, what are they doing pulling the starters?
Well, look, like I said, this is because to me, Kyle, the X's and O's thing, I don't know. I don't know why they were in that position to begin with. Well, they're in that position because they're not a good team. But the least you can do if you're not a good team is try. You know how many guys love whatever sport? We all know this kid got cut, high school, tried out every year. Dad loved baseball. Dad loved basketball, but he was 5'7", right? Loved the game, but he just wasn't good enough. But he gave his effort. Maybe he became the team manager, and everybody respected him, right?
My senior year, they let him be practice squad.
There you go. Everybody respected him, even though he wasn't good enough. This Kings team, I can understand a loss, but I can't respect that. I respect Zach LaVine, and I'll go to bat with Zach LaVine with people in the Bay that want to say he was stat padding because I don't know that. I know Zach LaVine worth a lot of money, and so does Carmichael Dave. You know it too. But
I don't think I make too much money.
No,
I think I get paid more.
But with all that being said, they made a conscious decision. I don't know if it was Doug. I don't know what it was. But to me, that was my biggest takeaway. The scorebook is the scorebook. I don't know why they shouldn't have ever been in that position. They didn't play a bad game. They just couldn't defend. Dennis Schroeder was awful. Awful, awful, awful. I'm not even arguing about Russell Westbrook anymore. Dennis Schroeder has been very lackluster. We got 4 hours with you. Let's take a look at this full box score. That was some Style Espresso when we return. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
No, it's not too soon to start holiday shopping. Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is happening now through November 22nd. Shop $10 beauty minis from brands like MAC and Too Faced. Take 30% off Lancome and Touchland fragrances and body mists. With new offers dropping every week, our associates can help you find the perfect gifts. Head into Ulta Beauty today to shop our early Black Friday event. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights. Maybe even restore your gun rights. Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Dumps it to the corner. Bazelis again for three. Score another one. Chicago with a terrific start to the third quarter. Doug Christie calling timeout. Matas Bazelis has 23 season-high points. Twice loses the ball. Turnover. Grabbed by Jones. 5 seconds to go to the baseline to Bazelis. Got an easy reverse. Chicago owning the Kings. Backcourt steal attempt by DeSumo, but it goes out of bounds. 1.3 seconds to go.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
G-Man is going to call it like he sees it. And that is exactly what he saw last night. So good on G-Man. And, of course, you can hear the velvety voice of G-Man every single game here.
A shameful performance.
Oh, my goodness.
A shameful performance.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been on a heater. I know he wishes that's not the type of heater he was on, but he's been on an absolute heater.
G-Man's been through it all.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you call this team for 41 years. I mean, you've been through it all.
Yeah, 916 says they are labeled miserable 49ers fan on our text line. If you're just now joining us, we got a new text line update so we can give you all names. So we have names in, not just for this show, for any show, but the text line says, what happened to the MVP EuroLeague champion that Schroeder was? Did it just disappear? That just shows me that the European League stinks compared to ours if he's MVP and winning titles over there, because he sure in heck ain't doing it here. Yeah, there are guys, obviously, Luka played in it and Markkanen played in it. There's some guys.
Şengün.
Yeah, there's some guys in Giannis, but yeah, it ain't the NBA.
I mean, that German team, he was on a team with Franz Wagner and Mo Wagner and a couple other guys that were or are in the NBA, and he was their best player. But, yeah, I mean...
he played the best.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of their best player for the whole run, and I think that's... There's more that goes into it than just being good here and not as good in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Like, you're playing against NBA defenses, your role is different. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into being a good basketball player internationally. It's why Dennis Schroeder is so remarkable as an international player. It's like the FIBA Patty Mills thing. Like, Patty Mills would be a role player in the NBA and go over to Australia and just win bronze medals and be killing it in the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's getting paid $15 million, but there's definitely a reason Dennis Schroeder has not always been a starter. That guy could definitely come off the bench for the Kings. And I don't think the Kings would be any worse, which is crazy after a whole summer of them trying to give us the crazy PR that this guy is going to just change the world. He did have 7 assists last night. Domantas Sabonis, 6 assists last night. Probably, Kyle, Domantas Sabonis' I know, injury and things like that, but easily his best game this season, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's either that or the Jazz game.
Yeah. So, That was, let's just go through them here.
Still didn't get the prop talk for me.
No, I mean, they got to lower the number.
What an idiot.
Yeah, you just got to lower the number.
Oh, what a loser.
Domantas Sabonis, 31 minutes. He had 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 18 points. He was a minus 21. 4 fouls, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. Every starter had a turnover, by the way. DeMar DeRozan, 34 minutes, 19 points. He seems to have fixed his free throws. He was 9 of 10 from the free throw line. 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He was a minus 21. Russell Westbrook, he played 28 minutes, 12 points, 3 steals, 2 turnovers, 4 assists, 4 fouls. He had 2 rebounds, and he was 1 of 4 from three-point land. DeMar was 0 of 1. Domantas Sabonis, 8 of 14 from the field, 1 of 4. He did make a 3, 1 of 4 from three-point land, 1 of 2 from the line. Like I said, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 18 points. Zach LaVine, 36 minutes, 12 of 19 from the field, 2 of 8 from three-point land. Yeah, Zach kind of powered through. He didn't really have it like he's had it these first couple games. He was 12 of 19, but the three-pointer, I should say, in particular, because he's been incredible from the three-point line. He was 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, 2 turnovers. He was a minus 23, and he had 30 points. Dennis Schroeder, 27 minutes, 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. He was a minus 20 at 5 points. Keon Ellis, 23 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from three-point land. A lot of singles here. I'm just seeing a lot of ones.
A lot of triple singles.
Yeah, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 steal, minus 7. Malik Monk, 27 minutes, 7 for 10 from the field, 1 for 3 from three-point range, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 turnover. Malik had 15 points. Drew Eubanks, maybe his best game, 16 minutes, 2 for 2 from the field, 1 for 2 from free throw, 3 rebounds. He had 5 points. He was a positive 8, and Malik was a positive 17. Keon was a minus 7. Devin Carter, 12 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field, 0 for 1 from three-point range, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block shot. Eubanks had a block shot too. Devin had a donut, 0 points, but he was a positive 6.
I thought Devin had a steal. Maybe they credited someone else, but I thought Devin had a nice steal.
They don't have one on here, but
maybe they just called it a turnover.
Yeah. You have, last but not least, Dylan Cardwell, 1 minute, 39 seconds. It must have been when they subbed him out, I turned it off. Excuse me, that wasn't even Dylan Cardwell. That was Isaac Jones. 1 minute, 39 seconds, 1 for 2 from free throw, minus 1 point. No Dylan Cardwell, no Dougie McBuckets. Maxime, just send him to Stockton at this point. Can you send Dario too? And no minutes for Dario.
I'm telling you, I think Dario's going to get bought out at some point coming up here. I thought there was a chance it was going to happen before the season started. I feel pretty certain Dario's going to get bought out coming up here.
Yeah, the Bulls, they played really well, obviously. Isaac Okoro, 28 minutes. He had 9 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Matas, tried to tell y'all, 27 points, 11 for 18, 4 of 6 from three-point range, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 fouls. He was, getting after it defensively. DeMar kept on taking him into his office and lecturing him, but he still won that matchup based on the plus minus. He was plus 18. Isaac Okoro was a plus 20. Nikola Vucevic in 32 minutes, 13 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. That's just a great game for Nikola Vucevic. He was only 1 of 3 from three-point range. He can stretch the floor in that way. A couple free throws. Trey Jones, quieter night for him. His prop talk is at about, it's like 6.5 assists or something like that. He really can distribute the basketball. I think that'll drop because of his time with Giddey. But Trey Jones, 5 assists, 11 points, 5 of 6 from the field. Pretty efficient, obviously. And Josh Giddey, man, 7 of 14 from the field, 1 of 2 from three-point range, 8 rebounds, 12 assists, 20 points. Just outstanding. He was a game high, obviously, a positive 24. Kevin Huerter, 25 minutes, 6 for 8 from the field, 3 for 5 from three-point range. It's crazy. He's such a troll. He honestly is such a troll.
Kevin Huerter.
4 assists. Kevin Huerter had 4 assists, by the way. 4 assists. Just wanted to let y'all know that. 4 rebounds as well. Did have 2 turnovers, but he was a positive 6, and he scored 18 points. Ayo Dosunmu, 21 minutes, 3 for 8 from the field. Did not make a 3. He was 0 for 3. He was a minus 13. He scored 9 points. He had 1 assist and 2 rebounds. Jalen Smith, as somebody shouted out, 15 minutes. He was a minus 3, but he scored 10 points. He had 5 rebounds, and he was 5 of 9. He took 4 threes. He was 5 of 9. That's like a shady acquisition that the Kings could really use, honestly. Somebody like a Jalen Smith, just to take threes and make it at least look like you should be taking 3. Just stretch the floor a little bit. That's a guy that I wasn't even thinking about him. Got to take a look at his contract. But look, if the Bulls keep winning, why would they move him? But that's a guy that I would be interested in to help out.
Don't the Bulls have another big that was hurt yesterday? Oh, Zach Collins.
Yeah, Zach Collins.
Maybe the argument is Zach Collins is better than him?
Yeah. Patrick Williams, 19 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field, 3 for 3 from three-point range. He was a team worst minus 15, but he had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 0 assists, and Julian Phillips.
At garbage time.
Does anybody know? Okay.
Let's look up old Julian
Phillips, 2 minutes, 51 seconds, minus 4, 0 points. He did manage to take a 3-pointer. As a team, the Kings were a collective brick, 7 for 28. That's good for 25%. They don't shoot a lot of threes, which is also not you don't shoot a lot of threes and you don't defend the 3 well. It's not a good combination.
Julian Phillips started 5 games for them last year. He was second round pick 2023. Got time between the Bulls and the Windy City Bulls, which is apparently their G League team. I
did know that because I like the name. I thought it was a good name. The Windy City Bulls.
So is it in Chicago or?
Couldn't tell you that much, but I would assume so. Maybe it's in like Indiana.
It's in one of those suburbs.
Yeah.
From Tony Vitello's Tennessee.
There you go.
Which is obviously a different sport.
It was a battle of the bricks when it came to free throws. The Kings, this might be an issue, man. The Kings, 76.9% from the free throw, 20 for 26. Let's see who did all the missing. It was pretty dispersed. You had Isaac Jones. I'm assuming that was in garbage time, but Keon Ellis missed one. Yeah, Keon missed that. It was the take foul, and that was a pretty important free throw. DeMontis Sabonis missed one, and Russell Westbrook missed one, and DeMar DeRozan did take 10, and he only missed one, but he did miss one. And I think Drew Eubanks missed one too. The Bulls were 77.8% from the free throw line, 53% from the field. The Kings were 53% from the field. When it comes to the rebounds, man, Kyle, this is a bad one. 46-30, the Kings out-rebounded with DeMontis Sabonis. That's 16. 16 more rebounds for the Chicago Bulls. So a lot to break down. We got Christie's cuts. I don't think anybody asked him about pulling the guys, but we'll see what he has to say from the guys' effort. There was a quote out there that made a lot of people go, oh, we'll play it for you. We got it for you. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Time now for your Sactown 49ers report, brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco loses in Houston on Sunday, 26-15, to fall to 5-3 on the year. The Niners played again without Brock Purdy, and they struggled offensively to score early, going down 13-0. The Niners are back in action on Sunday morning in New York. You can catch all the action beginning at 9 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
We are going to be joined by Brett Siegel in 15 minutes, 14 minutes. That's the same. Hey, that's the same amount of points, roughly, when the Kings pulled their starters. I got a DM, and people will hit me up on a lot of different avenues. I appreciate it. You can follow me at _Styles Files, Styles with an I. I think it's the _Styles Files, Styles with an I. And our guy Steven DM'd me, and he said he almost chucked his phone when he saw that the guys had been subbed out. Yeah, it was bizarre. It was bizarre. So somebody's on text line saying, Allen, how can they get rebounds? No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Maybe that's why Devin was getting more time, because we know Devin is a very good rebounding guard. But again, being a rebounding guard versus having actual rebounders in, two completely different things. But yeah, 16 rebounds. That was the difference between the two. The Bulls had 34 assists. The Kings had 28. The Bulls fouled more with 20. The Kings had 17. The Kings had 4 more steals than the Bulls, 10-6. And the Kings had 5 less turnovers than the Bulls. Bulls had 15 turnovers. It was kind of crazy that the Kings just never, I guess they were leading before halftime, but that halftime, can we talk about that halftime just crumble? That was so crazy. That was 45 seconds of pure, unfiltered slop. That was some, I know everybody plays AAU now. Back in my day, they might have been AAU, but I was playing MVP Flight, right? And you meet up with your MVP Flight team. You don't know anybody, and it's just a nasty game. You don't know anybody. You know, it's a tournament. You're wearing different jerseys. It's just a nasty game. That's what that 45 seconds looked like. Might have been a whole minute. It was just a nasty end of the quarter. And hey, you go into it, and that's again, Kyle. Hey, let's go into halftime. Let's not let it snowball. We got a bunch of vets in here. We're all 34 years old or older. Let's not let it snowball. We've seen this before. Young team. Let's make sure it doesn't happen. Kyle, they come out, third quarter. What happens? It absolutely snowballs.
Yeah, right away. What was it? 20
immediately.
22-2 run, I think it was at one
They
point.
just picked up from where they left off. We're going to keep playing like garbage, actually.
Yeah.
I know y'all think we're going to actually play better. How about let's play worse?
How about Trey Jones drives past multiple Kings and gets a scoop layup? How about that? That was the one where I was like, are you serious now? Like, if Trey Jones is out here beating you off the dribble, it's looking bad. To your point about the rebounding differential, there's no rebounding differential stat. I guess I could put team versus opponent. But if you had to guess this year, where do you think the Kings rank in terms of opponent rebounds per game?
Just
how
many
allowed,
they're getting.
how many they're allowing.
I mean, I don't know what the kind of barometer is, but I don't know, around 40?
47. They're allowing 47.6 rebounds per game. The only teams worse than them, the 0-4 Pelicans, who are going to fire their coach, according to Brett Siegel, the 0-4 Pacers, the 1-3 Wizards, the 2-3 Mavericks, and the 2-3 Hawks. With Porzingis, who just refuses to rebound.
No, Porzingis. I was going to say Cat, but Cat will randomly get rebounds. He just doesn't like being in the post defensively. Yeah, I mean, this is it's just, that's why I don't know. I know I just went through the box score, but I spent so much time on the effort because I know where this team lacks from a structural standpoint. So I don't know. You know, we're asking to the 916's point, Allen, you're talking about the difference in rebounds. How can they get rebounds? Yeah, you're right, 916. I don't know. That's why I'm not. I mean, it's an eye-opening fact, but I'm not saying they got to try harder. What did I say last week when I told y'all about my buddy when he was scoring on little dude at the gym? Don't take it up with me. Take it up with God. Take it up with your GM. Take it up with. Remember what Antonio Pierce said when the Raiders won a game, and at that time, that was before Shador had all the bad PR, and Raider fans like me were freaking out because they won. And Antonio Pierce said, a reporter said, "Hey, how do you tell Raider Nation that you're doing the right thing by winning games here?" And Antonio Pierce said, "Take that up with Tom Telesco. Tell him to take that up with Tom Telesco, who was the GM at the time. Don't take that up with me."
Guess
right?
what? Neither of them are there anymore.
No.
They're both.
Take it up with Tom Telesco.
This isn't an official stat, but in rebounding differential, the Kings are -10, which is third worst in the NBA.
It looks like it.
Only the Pelicans and Hawks are worse.
It looks like it. I'm just double checking for second chance points. Yeah, but you know what? They're not getting killed on the offensive. Only 10 second chance points for the Bulls and offensive rebounds. Here's what's crazy, Kyle. And the Bulls, to be in control that much, the Bulls had 12 offensive rebounds. The Kings had 4 offensive rebounds. The Bulls only had 10 second chance points off, turnover, or not turnovers, but 12 offensive rebounds, only 10 points. And they controlled the game from 2 minutes left in the second half left in the first half to the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's great. So they didn't even play. They didn't even ball out. And also no Kobe White. I know no Keegan, no Neek. But.
I'm trying to think back. I don't think their lead in the Laker game was 10 points, but the Kings have had a double-digit lead in the first halves of 3 of their losses now. And every single one, it wasn't like, oh, this thing came right down to the end. It was, no, the Suns won relatively comfortably. Thunder won by 6.
Yeah.
It kind of came down to the end.
Yeah, the Kings' biggest lead was 12. The Bulls' biggest lead, 17. 5 lead changes. All right, Kyle, let's hear from the man, the myth, the legend himself. It's time for Christie's Cuts.
Blow-bys, gambling, fundamentally when they do it the correct way, we see that it can be done. But it's almost like sometimes we get a little bored with the monotony of doing things the right way and having success at it. But, I mean, pretty simplistic. I have to go back and watch the film, to be honest with you, because a lot of times, as bad as it feels right now, you'll say things and feel a certain way, and then you go back and watch it and you go, oh, well, it was something a little different. The positive is that when you play the right way, you have the ability to win games in this league, no doubt. Like this team, you're up. You can do it. OKC, you could do it. You beat Utah, the Lakers, like Phoenix. Like every single game, you see it there. And then the ability to consistently be present and stay fundamentally sound is. It's difficult, but good teams do it. And right now, that's why I said in the early presser, we're not ready for that type of success, because sometimes you'll have success and it's not really what it is, and you'll start believing it. And we need to actually be doing it consistently for 48 minutes.
One thing that stuck out to me, and that was the quote that had a lot of people talking, was when Doug was talking about the Kings being bored with the monotony and having success. And here it was. It seems sometimes we get a little bored with the monotony of doing things the right way and having success at it. Bored at 1-4. We're bored at 1-4.
Bored with a 12-point lead?
I don't know. And we got to get to the other side. Brett Siegel's going to join us. You really don't want to miss what he's got to say. But what's also interesting to me is when you do have these older vets, can Doug lay into them like that? Right? Like, how does it go in the locker room? Right? And this is what we kind of talked about with Mike, because it's never been a young team. But what goes on in the locker room? All right, do you guys just not want to try? Do you guys just not want to play correctly? You know what you're doing wrong, right? I don't know how they do it. Brett Siegel joins us to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
As the temperatures drop, keep your home cozy and your family safe with Maverick Electric Heating and Air, your local family-owned team you can trust. They care about the families they serve because they're part of this community too. This fall, schedule your seasonal tune-up to make sure your system is ready before the cold sets in. Visit MaverickElectricalServices.com or call Maverick Electric and let their family take care of yours this season.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses. inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121.
Tempted to decorate for the holidays early? We like your style. Right now at Kohl's, save 20% on decor, hosting essentials, and more. Plus, get $10 off $50 spent. So go ahead, hang up that wreath, swap out those couch pillows for ones with snowflakes. And while others are panic shopping later, you'll already be cozied up feeling pretty great about these early Kohl's deals. Select styles. Offers end November 2nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So my sandwich shop was opening in a week and I needed signage.
A week is plenty of time to panic.
I went to Staples. They printed banners, posters, and flyers to promote my grand opening.
All in time for your grand closing.
Nope, I had it same day. I even got $125 off my order.
Hold the onions. For all your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. In-store and online, same day if ordered by 12 p.m. Into 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery, embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
1 hour down, 3 to go. And we are joined, as we often are, and we are lucky to be joined by Brett Siegel at a time like this. Hopefully, Brett can make the good people of Sacramento and the surrounding Sacramento areas feel better. Brett, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Alan. How are you?
I can't complain, Brad. I mean, I have been complaining about the Kings, but besides that, I cannot complain. Let's start here, Brett. Are we really already here 5 games into the season? Are we really going to have some conversations about maybe a fire sale, whatever that looks like, 5 games into the season? I think, Brett, the Keegan Murray thing just derailed what could have been a surprising season for the Kings, but without him and him not coming back for 20 games, whatever it is, are we really going to do this, Brett? Because they're already 1-4. It's not going to get easier. They get the Bucks on Saturday. I don't really see a path to the Kings making it out of this cave, Brett.
Well, unlike other organizations, particularly in the West, that are heading in a different direction and most likely going to be tanking soon, the Kings aren't necessarily there yet. I mean, things don't look good. The schedule certainly does not look good moving forward with the amount of playoff teams and high competition that they're going to play. But like you mentioned, Keegan Murray's injured. They're hoping to get him back sometime within the next 4 or 5 weeks, I think, is kind of the timeline that we're looking at right now. But can they even survive to that point? That's really the big question. Zach LaVine's played well. I think that Kings fans need to be pleased with the way that he started the season, and you can't complain about Zach LaVine and who he is to this Kings organization. It's just the contract is not good, but hey, if he's going to be playing like this, he's going to be your leader, then so be it. It's just their supporting cast is not up to the standards with how you need to compete in today's NBA, where you need size. The big man's coming back, and we're seeing a lot of teams roll out two big guys in some lineups. You need consistent perimeter shooting, which I don't feel like the Kings have necessarily had to begin the season. They've had good perimeter shooting. It hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been consistent through all their performances. And then the third thing is just athleticism. And when you look at this roster, it's just a bunch of older players, and obviously Sabonis is not the most athletic big man. So what are you left with? You're left with a team that you're hoping can defend well, and that has not been the case at all this season. So they're just a team that is honestly assembled 10 years too late. If this team was assembled back in the mid-2010s, they'd be a contender in the West. But right now, with the style of play in the NBA and the amount of athleticism and depth that exists with all these teams, especially in the West, it's just really hard to see how this team can be competitive.
Talking to Brett Siegel, national NBA insider and reporter for Clutch Points. Brett, when is it going to be realistic that things could start happening? Obviously, the trade deadline is not till February, and in years past, we've seen some things. We know some players become available in December, more players become available in January. The Kings are a bit stuck right now because we can have a blow-it-up conversation all we want. All these other teams are assessing, like normal teams, all these other teams, I shouldn't say all of them because we'll talk about the Pelicans in a second, but majority of the other NBA teams are still assessing what in the world they have. So the Kings, even if they wanted to blow it up, they're stuck right now. My question is, for how long?
Yeah, it's going to be a holding pattern past Thanksgiving, most likely into the holiday season, until they get Keegan Murray back, because that's really kind of a big piece to the puzzle for them of the three-point shooting, the athleticism, kind of that new age player that can do a little bit of everything for the Kings. And when you fit him in with Sabonis, you fit him in with Zach LaVine, who's a dynamic player on the wing, and some of these other guys, maybe all of a sudden the Kings find something, especially once that schedule lightens up. Because when you preview ahead of the teams that they're going to be playing, over the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks, favored in any of these games. You got Golden State, Denver, Milwaukee, OKC, San Antonio, who looks like a potential contender this season with Wembanyama. So all these Western Conference teams that they're going to play, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that they're going to get them out of the way now while Keegan Murray is out. Because, yeah, maybe they tank a little bit at the beginning of the season. Maybe they're near the bottom of the standings. But we've seen teams be able to flip the script heading into a new year before. We've seen teams be able to start rebounding and getting on the right track after the All-Star break. And so when I look at that late December schedule and early January, there's opportunity there for the Kings to kind of make up some ground while these other Western Conference teams will be beating up on each other. Maybe the Kings can start getting some wins against these East teams and lower West teams once Keegan Murray returns. I look at in January how they kind of start things off with the Celtics and the Phoenix Suns, and then you have matchups with the Bucks, the Mavericks, and the Warriors. So maybe there's opportunity to kind of turn things around with Keegan Murray coming back and with guys kind of looking at the trade deadline and being like, well, we don't want to leave, we want to stay here, and maybe they start playing a little bit better. There's a lot of if to this right now, and it's really hard to project 2 months from now what this team is going to look like. But as far as when we could see potential moves and when that talk is going to start happening, if we could be on the move, it's not going to happen until after Thanksgiving of when those conversations will start being had and when teams really start looking at their foothold in the standings, and then they view Sacramento as a potential trade partner.
Talking to Brett Siegel, national NBA insider and reporter. Well, Brett, you said the magic word. Feels like a while since we had this conversation. But Jonathan Kuminga has been on a tear with the Warriors. They look great. Been watching them with all their 8,000 national games that they're going to continue to have. How do you assess Jonathan Kuminga so far? Only a couple games into the season. This has been exactly what the Warriors wanted, him to buy into this specific style of play. I've been seeing, Brett, some people don't really buy it. Some people think he's just playing the game right now, and at some point he'll get tired of it. What do you make of Jonathan Kuminga's start with the Warriors? Do you think all is forgotten and he might even stay with this team past this season, or is it everybody is playing nice right now?
Well, there's two things here. One, he has been spectacular to begin the year. He's been the best version of himself that he's been in the NBA. He seems to have a strong foothold on what his role is going to be with the Warriors, and he even got that confirmation from Steve Kerr, who came out and said he's going to be a starter moving forward, and that's not even going to be a question. So I think that definitely instills a lot of confidence in Kuminga, and it's exactly what he wanted to hear last season from the Warriors. And maybe it just took a year for them to get to this point, but he's been playing spectacular. He's been everything that they've wanted. And the second thing is winning cures all in this league. We see all the time of coaches being on the hot seat, players wanting out, potential changes being made. Then all of a sudden the team goes on a run. They maybe make the postseason and go farther than they were supposed to, and all is cured. And a great example of that is Mike Budenholzer with the Milwaukee Bucks several years ago when they went on to win a championship. He was going to be fired if they didn't make the NBA Finals, and that bought him an extra year. Obviously, things have played out differently in Milwaukee how they would have wanted to, but that's just one of the many examples of how winning in this league changes a lot of philosophies for organizations because there's such a small margin for error, and these front offices and many personnel that are with the team are on the clock to win right when they are hired. And so when you look at this situation with Jonathan Kuminga, a little bit different because the Warriors don't operate like that where everybody's on the clock and they're going to constantly make moves. They're very methodical, very thought through with all the moves that they make. And so bringing Jonathan Kuminga back to an essential position that they don't have anybody else to replace him, and now he's playing at this kind of level, he's happy. Steve Kerr seems happy. The Warriors veterans are thrilled with the position that they're in right now. They truly feel like that they are the best team in the Western Conference and that they can win a championship this year. And with that said, there's not going to be any conversations about them trading Jonathan Kuminga if this continues. Whether or not the relationship is better, whether or not it's just a mask that they're putting on, who knows? But Kuminga's happy, the Warriors are happy, and that's kind of that at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if they're winning games. That's just that's the most important thing. Obviously, Kuminga wants to get his, but doing it in the way he's doing it, he is kind of getting his, and the Warriors are winning. Talking to Brett Siegel, national NBA insider and reporter for Clutch Points. Brett, I believe it was Sam Amick at the beginning of the season, or right before the season started, there was a report about scouts at the preseason games and how scouts are monitoring the Kings to see where this thing goes. Well, this is why they were monitoring the Kings. This is exactly, now they didn't know Keegan Murray was going to be injured, but it worked out that way, and now the Kings are staring at 1-4 right there in the face. Who do you think is actually movable this season? We spent so much time on Zach LaVine and his contract, but even Domantas Sabonis lately, he had 18 last night, and it was kind of a throwback game for Domantas Sabonis, and I say that because his usage has changed a little bit. He's making $40+ million. If this thing really does go in that direction, obviously the Kings, I don't think, would move off of a Keegan Murray they can't because they signed him to that extension. Right. But besides that, who do you think when those scouts are in the building, they're actually monitoring, would be willing to say, all right, let's give it a go and see what we can do?
Well, the two names I've heard the most of who scouts are watching and other organizations are kind of paying attention to, one is Devin Carter, and we've talked about this countless times, Allen, where he has been available since before the Summer League. He was available in the Jonathan Kuminga trade saga. He was available after that, and they were talking to teams about it. When they were doing the Dennis Schroeder sign and trade, Devin Carter was an option to be included in that as well. So it just doesn't seem like that Devin Carter is a player that is in this new front office plans. And it seems like that they're going to be moving forward with Keon Ellis, Nick Clifford, and these veteran guards that they've brought in. And it doesn't seem like that there's going to be a market for Malik Monk either. So it seems like they're going to be holding on to him. Anything can change between now and the trade deadline. We got 3-4 months to get there. So lots can happen. A lot of injuries around the league can happen, and philosophies can change. But that's kind of where we're at right now with the Kings backcourt, of things kind of staying status quo other than Devin Carter being on the block. And the other guy that scouts have been watching is DeMar DeRozan, because they want to see at 36 years old and having just kind of one more year left on his contract in terms of having that non-guarantee clause and whatnot, they want to see if he can be a guy that can play next to stars and be a part of a contending team. And I think that he can be. He's shown that his entire career that he can be an alpha in some lineups. He can be the number 2 option. And this season, he's playing off of LaVine. He's not being the main facilitator and the guy bringing the ball up the floor. He's letting LaVine dictate the offense. And I think that in terms of anything that's been successful for the Kings to this point, I think that has been a positive, where those two can play off of each other, and they're continuing the success that they had playing off one another with the Chicago Bulls. So what does the future look like for DeMar DeRozan? Again, a little too early to speculate, but $24.7 million, very movable contract compared to other guys around this league. And I think that we are going to see a potential deal for DeRozan. It's just a matter of what kind of team is going to want to get him. Is it one that wants to get money off their books for next season? Or is it a team that's going to look to bring him in to be a number 2, number 3 option on a contending team? Or maybe there's another team in the East or West that sees their star player go down with an injury. They have the ability to trade for a $20 million contract, and they go out and get DeRozan, who's a proven guy that has won in the playoffs before. So that's kind of what we're looking at with those two guys. You mentioned Domantas Sabonis. I don't see any scenario in which the Kings would move him unless he requested a trade. Even then, I think that there would be pushback from the organization because they do love Sabonis. He's their franchise player. He's the face of the franchise after they traded De'Aaron Fox to the San Antonio Spurs last season. But again, we'll see what happens with the Kings and where they're at come time for the holidays in December. Once the calendar flips to 2026, are they going to be at the bottom of the West standings? And will that be enough for Sabonis to say, you know what, I want out? Or is he bought into what Doug Christie and Scott Perry and this organization are selling him right now? So again, it's not the answer that Kings fans want to hear of being in a holding pattern, but you kind of have the roster that you do right now. And that's that. You just got to see what the rest of the league looks like.
Just a couple more for you, Brett, but one just popped into my head because this guy was on a yacht and he was on his couch, and now he's a starter for the Sacramento Kings. And even though it's a non-guaranteed contract, you never know. Maybe you could get something for him. Give me your initial thoughts on Russell Westbrook. Is there a world where, I know the Rockets are rocking and rolling, no pun intended, along, but they kind of they might need a point guard at some point, some of these other teams. Is there any world where Russell Westbrook, if he keeps playing like this, gains some value? And I'm not saying the Kings get a first rounder or anything like that, but maybe some reclamation project or a second rounder, something back for Westbrook if this thing goes a bit squirrely?
Maybe. It really depends on what these other teams' philosophies are that would need a point guard, whether that's the Pacers, whether that's the Houston Rockets. And looking at the Rockets' cap situation in particular, the reason that they couldn't go out and sign a guy like Russell Westbrook is because they're hard capped at the first apron. They're about $1.2 million from that line. And to sign a guy to a minimum contract, it's $2.2 million. So automatically, in order to get Russell Westbrook, they would have had to trade somebody and then sign him, and it didn't make sense for them to do that at the time. Could they trade for Westbrook? That's an interesting situation. Maybe you could swap a minimum contract on your roster, whether that's an Aaron Holiday and Deshaun Tate, and a second-round pick to go get Westbrook, because I'm sure the Kings would do that if they're getting a second-round pick out of it. Why not? So is it a reasonable scenario to believe? Sure, it's certainly something that you could talk about, but again, it depends on what these teams look like heading into the trade deadline, and obviously what kind of opportunity comes way for some of these other guys on the Rockets roster, for example. Like, what does Reed Shepherd look like between now and February? Is he going to be a guy that steps up to be their point guard? What about Aaron Holiday? Does he find a role as a team's point guard? So a lot of questions that are left unanswered right now and that we need answers to before we can definitively say, yes, Russell Westbrook's going to be on the move, or yes, DeMar DeRozan is going to be traded by the Kings. A lot of basketball just needs to play out, and that's just the simple answer.
Brett Siegel, national NBA insider and reporter for Clutch Points. Last one for you, Brett. Are there any other teams that the league circles are monitoring? Again, I know it's still very, very early. And look, when you lose these games, Brett, this is where we have to go. I wish we were talking about the Kings in a 4-1 start, and we would just be talking about the product on the court. But that's not been the situation, so we have to see what else is out there. But as far as other teams that might be in a similar position as the Kings, who do you see as far as monitoring what is going on? I know the Magic, huge expectations for them with that Desmond Bane deal. They've struggled early. I know it's really early for them, but is there any world where there's a fire sale? Hey, let's trade each other's problems for the other and see what happens there. Any other teams that league circles are monitoring to say, hey, if this doesn't figure itself out, they might have to go in a different direction as well?
Yeah, I don't think anything is going to happen with the Magic. They're confident in the group that they have. I personally believe that they're going to turn it around. They just gotten off to a slow start. And with the East being as wide open as it is, all they need to do is string together 3 or 4 wins, and all of a sudden they're back in the top of the picture. So I don't really see the Magic being in a desperation mode at all. Maybe the Toronto Raptors would do something. We've seen R.J. Barrett's name on the trade market since the offseason, since even before the trade deadline last season. There were some murmurs about him possibly being on the move. So that's a player to watch, and he's had a strong start to the season in Toronto. But the one team that everybody's kind of watching of what's going to happen in the West is the New Orleans Pelicans. And we just reported on it this morning at Clutch Points, me and our Pelicans reporter, Chris Dodson, that the Pelicans are holding serious internal discussions about moving on from head coach Willie Green. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about doing so in the offseason, and then the organization decided to back Willie Green and fired David Griffin. They hired Joe Dumars instead. Well, Dumars and that front office are now of the mindset that Willie Green is not the right person for this team. He's completely lost the locker room from what we've been told. The players looked very disinterested in the game last night in Denver. They had that insane third quarter against Denver where I think they gave up a 28 or 29-2 run, and Jordan Poole was benched. Yves Missy was benched in favor of 37-year-old DeAndre Jordan at the center position, who just signed a week ago. So just nothing is going right for the Pelicans right now. It seems like that the writing is on the wall for Willie Green to be fired after their road trip. Once they come back, they have the Los Angeles Clippers and then the Oklahoma City Thunder. After that, it seems like that Willie Green could be in danger of being fired if the team comes back 0-6. And then obviously that raises questions about, well, what does the future hold for Zion Williamson? And that has been a talking point over the last year where Zion's had his health issues. There's been questions about his conditioning level and getting in shape. And this season, it does seem like that he is in the best conditioning level of his career since entering the league. He's committed a lot of time to doing so this offseason to get his body right. He had that slight foot injury where he missed the game, but he was back for that Nuggets game last night. He's making $39 million this season. He has some non-guarantee clauses in his contract, those weight clauses in quotes, that The Athletic reported on about a year or year and a half ago. So what does the future hold for Zion? Is he a potential guy that becomes available? And from a Kings perspective, is he a guy and an all-star talent that you would be willing to go out and get by sacrificing contracts like DeMar DeRozan, like Malik Monk? And I think that that's an interesting angle to kind of think about. If the Pelicans do decide to move Zion, could he be somebody that the Kings target, or will it be another contending team? Could there be a potential Paul George swap there with the Philadelphia 76ers, given that VJ Edgecombe looks like a potential rookie of the year? Tyrese Maxey's playing out of his mind. Do you really need to bring Paul George back there, or do you go out and get an athletic guy that could play with Edgecombe and Maxey like Zion Williamson? So that's a very interesting scenario in New Orleans, but if there's one team that is setting up for a fire sale, it's definitely the Pelicans.
Brett Siegel, sorry, Brett. Now you got me thinking. Just a quick one, very, very quick one, and then we'll get you out of here. I know you're busy, but you had me thinking, Brett, when you brought up the Pelicans situation with Willie Green and how bad this could get for the Kings. What is it? A 2-year deal with the 3rd-year option for Doug Christie. There's no world where, in your mind, Brett, even if this thing goes horribly, there's no world where Doug Christie doesn't make it past this year, right? I'm just saying, based on how bad this record could be and the schedule is to start, they're going to give him, for lack of a better term, I don't know if you're a golfer, but they're going to give him a mulligan, right? There's no way.
I would like to think so, and I'm kind of the belief that he isn't on a short leash, that they're going to see this through. They're going to see what it looks like. Players like Doug Christie, they hired him for a reason. They could have gone out and gotten any other coach that they wanted. They interviewed several others, but they decided that Doug Christie, and this new front office even decided that Doug Christie was the guy that they wanted to keep around. He has that 2-year contract, like you mentioned. I believe that he's going to coach through this season. Whether or not he is their coach next year, whether or not he gets fired next year, that's a whole separate conversation. It really does depend on how the season plays out. But I have not heard anything to suggest that Doug Christie is on the hot seat or will be on the hot seat this season.
Just had to check. Brett Siegel, thank you so much for joining us. National NBA insider and reporter for Clutch Points. Always a joy and very informative and entertaining when you join us, Brett. Thank you. We will talk to you again soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week.
You got it, Alan. Take care.
Great stuff from Brett Siegel. Be sure to check out all of his work, his Siegel Scoops, which are all over Clutch Points, and it keeps you very much in the loop on what's going on, not just with the Kings, not just in the Western Conference, but all across the NBA. And speaking of across the NBA, look, we talk about the Thunder and how they've done such a great job and how every single guy, it seems like, that they draft, even guys that aren't on the team anymore, they'll play well on their new teams. You'll go back and look at their basketball reference and it'll say drafted by the Thunder, and the great job that Sam Presti has done. And a lot of people felt the same way about Nikola Topic, who did get some time at Eurobasket and impressed because we were unable to see him last season with that injury. Well, what was it, a couple weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, he was out and they were looking at what was going on from his testicles had something going on and they wanted to check that out. I think they might have had surgery at that point. Well, Sam Presti announced today that Nikola Topic is dealing with testicular cancer. This is from Justin Martinez. His doctors are, quote, extremely positive about his long-term outlook. He has began chemotherapy and there's no timetable for his return. So obviously wishing the best for Nikola Topic and his family. This stuff it can be deeper than basketball, and we've seen this before when there's injuries and then there's just life that happens. So we're wishing the best to Nikola Topic and his family. Just want to make sure everybody was aware of that going on, because that's the name that everybody has thrown out, right? Hey, they're also stashing another really good player in Nikola Topic, and I think a lot of people were excited to see what the Thunder could do with another really good player, and it is not going to be in the near future. And right now he's just focusing on his health and getting better. Great stuff from Brett Siegel, the updates on Willie Green, everything like that. Let's discuss everything that we heard from Brett and have a conversation about why this team was maybe born to tank. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
The excitement of the game is here, and so are the model year-end savings at Stockton Honda, the best Honda dealer in Northern California. Score big with low payments, more for your trade, and a huge selection. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
When the chill in the air sends shivers down your spine, don't let your home turn into a haunted house. Keep things cozy and safe with Maverick Electric, your local family-owned team you can trust. Maverick Electric cares about the families they serve because they're part of this community too. So before the real chill sets in, schedule your seasonal tune-up. Visit MaverickElectricalServices.com and let their family keep yours warm and beautiful this Halloween season.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Great stuff from Brett Siegel. And I did not expect to ask that question at the end, but when he brought up Willie Green, here's my reasoning for bringing up the question when it comes to Doug Christie, right? They are telling us, I know they were set at 34.5, and this leads into my conversation about this team being born to tank. Something ain't adding up, right? So, if you have a team like the Kings have, and the belief is that, no, we think we can compete with this team. This is what they've told us, right? They are not telling us they're rebuilding. They got 37-year-olds on the team. That's what they're saying. So if they're trying to sell to us that they can compete at some level, okay? And then they go out, and I know the Keegan injury and the Neek injury may save Doug on top of all this. But then they go out, and they are just terrible to start the season, right? 5-15, something insane. Well, are you telling us, now I know Keegan's injured, but are you telling us that you were actually lying to us when you said you thought you could compete? Because if you think you can compete and the team is 5-15, how are you giving Doug a pass? Not me, but something would not be adding up at that point. Because either you actually don't think you can compete, so you're giving Doug a mulligan, right? Or you do think you can compete, and Doug should take that blame.
So here's where I'm struggling with it from like we can talk about success and failure with Doug as a coach and like what he's doing well and what he's doing not. But when we're talking about firing him versus not firing him, I feel like we talked about this last year with Mike. I'll make this point first. We said that 31 games was way too short to fire Mike Brown. If you're firing somebody before the new year, you probably should have done it last year kind of situation.
And I know I said 5-15. Let's just say that they win 30 games, right? Sure. Let's just say the season has ended. They won 30 games.
Yeah, at the end of the season, that's enough of a sample size, right? Because with Willie Green, when the Pelicans decided to fire David Griffin, I don't know why they kept Willie Green at that point. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to bring in a new general manager, the general manager is going to eventually change the coach. So why not just do it now, clean break? And the fact that they're talking about firing Willie Green after 6 games tells me that, yes, they probably should have just fired Willie Green at the end of last season. Kind of the same situation with Mike Brown last year. They gave him the extension. If you were going to fire him anyways, you should have just done it in the offseason. Yeah. But with Doug, where I'm struggling with it right now is I don't have enough of a sample size to evaluate his job as the coach because it's only been 5 games, and B, they just are injured across the board right now. So come the end of the season, I mean, maybe we'll have more of a sample, but all I can say right now is I think Doug was kind of forced upon Scott Perry, and there's nothing they're going to be able to say that's going to convince me otherwise, because I don't think Scott Perry would have hired Doug if it had been a complete open search. And so because we don't have enough sample size, I'm still just stuck with my preconceived notions without having any data to kind of change it.
But you see what I'm saying, though, right? You're telling us it's kind of catching them in between what they're saying. You're telling us that you can compete, but if you don't compete, then you would have not met expectations. And normally when you don't meet expectations, the coach pays for it. So if they keep Doug, they're essentially admitting, yeah, we really didn't think we could compete. We just told y'all that.
Yeah, I think the tough part, though, is I think Doug is a stopgap either way. As soon as they can get a more quality of head coach, they will make that pivot.
Or maybe not qualified.
Sure. Yeah, again, you can pick the name whoever you want down the line of coach that would be a better fit than Doug Christie. By the way, this is not I'm bagging on Doug. The Kings, by the contract that they gave him, are telling us this. He is on a 2-year contract where he is one of at least the 3 lowest paid head coaches in the NBA.
And does he even have a third-year option?
Yeah, it was a team option.
Okay, yes, he does have the third-year team option.
According to Sam Amick, it's a 2-year contract at about $2 million a year, and the third-year team option is a significant pay raise, which whether he gets it or not, that team option is probably going to be declined. Whether he does the greatest job ever or the worst job, that team option will probably never get picked up. So look at it like a 2-year, $4 million deal. If they were willing to pay $25 million of Mike Brown's buyout, they will certainly have no problem paying $4 million of Doug Christie's buyout at the end, and to buy out the staff that I'm sure is mostly all on 1-year deals. So it's not going to be cost prohibitive for them to move on from Doug at any point. It's the same conversation we've been talking about. What is the direction? Is this about developing players? Is this about trying to compete? You need to pick a direction as an organization instead of kind of trying to play it down the middle.
Yeah, and again, I didn't expect to ask that question, but when we were talking about Willie Green, I'm like, well, if this gets really ugly, there's no world that I see. But it's just funny that they're trying to sell us on competing when if they don't compete, it would be, okay, well, y'all knew we really weren't competing. We ain't going to move on from Doug because we actually didn't have the expectations that we tried to sell that we had prior to. But where I wanted to go with this is the conversation of tanking. And I had this thought, honestly, a couple days ago, but I didn't think it was appropriate yesterday because we wanted to talk about the OKC game and the Bulls game was coming up. But now that they don't play again until Saturday, and they're going to be well rested, by the way, Kyle. They're going to be extremely well rested, by the way. They don't play till Saturday. Very well rested.
All they got to do is take a short bus ride to Milwaukee.
They're going to be very well rested, which is important. I'm glad Doug made sure they got all the rest that they needed, and they will be ready for Milwaukee. But, I was thinking about this, and this was after they lost to the Thunder. And it's almost as if the tanking conversation has to come up because of how they went about this offseason. Not to say that they didn't take this offseason seriously, but the way they did not make an aggressive move, the way Scott Perry didn't make an aggressive move, kind of tells me, hey, I don't want to do too much because we don't know where this thing is going to go. They could have came out, found a way to get John Collins, and really, they did not support Domantas Sabonis, as we talked about before. They didn't get an actual 4, and we talked to Keegan's pops. He said, Keegan is a natural 3. That's what he is. He was sitting right across from me. I was taking notes. Keegan is a natural 3. They don't get an actual 4. They go get a Dennis Schroeder type point guard. They don't go get a Ja Morant or a Trae Young, who Trae Young messed up his knee yesterday, but Trae Young can't come to a conclusion or an extension understanding with the Hawks. They didn't do that. They got stopgap players. They said, we're going to go get Dennis Schroeder, who gets traded twice a year, and Russell Westbrook, right? We're going to go in that direction. We're not even going to go get a 4. So to me, when it comes to the tanking thing, it's almost as if, well, you better make some decisions if this doesn't work at the end of the season, because that's how you treated the offseason, as if we know that we might hit the ejecto button at the end of all this. Because if they really wanted to put their best foot forward in the West, I feel like assuming that Scott Perry actually thinks that this team can compete is doing a disservice to Scott Perry's basketball IQ. Like, I think Scott Perry knows this team can't compete deep down in his soul. There was only certain moves he could make, and he thought, hey, and maybe it's a hybrid tank like I've said before, but at the end of this season, we are not going to continue with this. Because if they really wanted to compete this season, they would have either, and I know they said Trae Young was not their cup of tea, but they would have gotten a Darius Garland, they would have gotten a John Collins and moved Keegan back to the 3. They would have given up whatever the Keons, the first round, to go get Jonathan Kuminga. This was let's see how hot the water is first. Let's see how hot the hot tub is. Let's see how hot the shower is before I hop in. And next season, or in the offseason, we're gonna jump in and do what we need to do. That's how I'm taking this. It's almost as if they went about this offseason knowing something is coming, but we don't need to do it right now. Because if they truly needed to do it right now, I do believe that Scott Perry would have made bigger moves and moves that were more pressing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's a value thing, right? I saw Matt George was fighting with some people about how the league was scared money this summer. So in another year, they would have had a Malik Monk trade. They would have had a Devin Carter swap. They might have been able to move DeMar DeRozan right at the draft time, kind of the way that the Celtics moved Holiday and Porzingis. I think this was just a particularly bad offseason in that sense. So they decided, instead of taking less for what we have and going to the bottom anyway and developing young talent, as the Wizards owner said, instead of tanking, instead of going that route, we're going to double down on this group of 3 being Sabonis, LaVine, and DeRozan and just see where it goes. And whether we're the 7 seed or the 14 seed, we'll reevaluate at the trade deadline. Because I think even if this team were 4-1 right now, we'd still be having the same conversations about, well, could you move DeRozan for DeAndre Hunter, or could you do this or that to mount? Like, how can we build on this and make improvements? I think those same conversations would still be had. It's just the fact that it's becoming increasingly clear they're not going to make it to the playoffs makes it feel like now is the time where everything goes on the table.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Again, I thought this team had it in them to get an 8 seed, and it's not done yet. They still could. But, yeah, hey, maybe they surprise us. Scott Perry, maybe it was his decision. Maybe he was, suggested to go in this direction. Hey, let's see what they have, right? With Dennis Schroeder, let's see what they have, and then we can press the button. But again, that's kind of what I'm saying. He couldn't make a ton of moves because they wanted to see what they had. But in doing that, maybe the deal was, hey, if this doesn't go in the right direction, we're going to have to make more aggressive moves. At this point, John Collins is not saving anybody. Right? Now we know. So, hey, we either make some tweaks now that make more sense or we don't. And the next time we make moves, they're probably going to be some fairly big moves. When we return, let's continue to react. I do not understand the bench DeMar conversations right now, and I'll tell you exactly why. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Time now for your Sactown 49ers report, brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco loses in Houston on Sunday, 26-15, to fall to 5-3 on the year. The Niners played again without Brock Purdy, and they struggled offensively to score early, going down 13-0. The Niners are back in action on Sunday morning in New York. You can catch all the action beginning at 9 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
No, it's not too soon to start holiday shopping. Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is happening now through November 22nd. Shop $10 beauty minis from brands like MAC and Too Faced. Take 30% off Lancome and Touchland fragrances and body mists. With new offers dropping every week, our associates can help you find the perfect gifts. Head into Ulta Beauty today to shop our early Black Friday event. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
People are coming from all over to have the best car buying experience at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And right now, it's their Drive in the Fall event, where you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed on your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. See for yourself at SacSuperstore.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
15 minutes. We're going to be joined by Frankie Cardicelli and Brendan Nunez. I don't know why, because Lamar's playing tonight, right? I'm pretty sure Lamar's playing. I'm weirdly excited to watch this game. I feel like it's been a couple bad Thursdays, and I don't know if this is going to be a good game. It might be another bad game. And there's plenty of band players playing today for me, Mr. Devin Achan, but I'm pretty excited.
Really? I mean, this is, first of all, I like to think of it as Thursday Night Football peaked with the Niners-Rams game. Like it's
no.
Oh,
it
and then
pinked with
Flack.
the unction.
Yeah, with the icy hot bowl.
Yeah.
They were calling it with Flack, the Flack attack. Yeah, I guess that was only 2 weeks ago, so it's only been one bad week. I guess this matchup is kind of bad because we all just expect the Ravens are going to just slaughter the Dolphins.
I don't know, though. I think I'm just excited to watch Lamar play, even though my dream is to be Snoop Huntley.
Yeah, how did he end up back there? I thought he was on another team. Also, wasn't Cooper Rush playing for them?
Yeah, but he was terrible.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying why would we have started with Cooper Rush when Snoop Huntley was available the whole time?
I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was on their team.
So where was he?
I don't know.
Is he the new Josh Johnson? I mean, Josh Johnson's still hanging around somewhere.
You know who's my guy? You know who's the opposite, and I'm probably jinxing it. You know who's the opposite of my ban list, and we'll get a chance to premiere. Hopefully not, because hopefully Schmal and Miles hits. But you know who's the opposite of ban to me? Bateman always does Schmal and Miles right.
Rashad,
just one, because it's always about 23 yards, and Lamar is looking around. It's some random third down, and he finds Rashad Bateman for one pass a game.
Hey, that's your thing with number 3 receivers.
That's right.
Which he technically is on the Ravens because they still have Mark Andrews.
And then they used Zay Flowers last week with Snoop as essentially a running back receiving yards. They threw under 8,000 times to him.
Yep, I know exactly. By the way, I totally forgot, but you're right. Yeah, Snoop was with Shador in that Browns that quarterback room. They signed Snoop Huntley I think that was after they traded Pickett. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Is Shador that bad that we need another practice squad quarterback?
I was down so bad in fantasy that I kept scrolling past Geno Smith because Baker had a bye, and I saw Blake Sims. Remember Blake Sims from Alabama?
Won a championship.
Apparently he's on, I think it said the Bucks.
Is it coach?
No, he was on my fantasy.
There's no way. That can't be the same Blake Sims.
No, yeah, he's a coach, but for some reason he pulled up with my fantasy when I kept scrolling.
He is the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for Mount Bethel Christian Academy.
I'll get back to it.
Wow, so this is how crazy Nick Saban used to be. Before Nick Saban was like, wow, what if we actually tried to start scoring? One of his quarterbacks is an insurance salesman in Alabama. Another is an offensive coordinator for a high school team, and another is going to run for Senate. What a crazy group.
No, I'm not kidding, Kyle. I'm showing you this right now. I don't know why, but underneath Cam Ward as number 5, the number 6 receiver on this app, or number 6 quarterback, is Blake Sims.
He hasn't played in the NFL since 2017.
I don't know why, but he's available. He's available off the waiver wire.
I mean, look, Teddy Bridgewater went from a high school coach to quarterbacking the Bucks, so maybe Blake Sims is the next Teddy Bridgewater path.
That's how down bad I am. Real quick, we're gonna go even deeper into this Kings verse at 12 o'clock when Brandon Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli join us. But when I was going back and forth with somebody about DeMar DeRozan and the benching, they wanted to bring back up the benching DeMar DeRozan conversation. I didn't understand it, Kyle. I'm not even there. My thought process more so is just let the brother free, right? Just let him off to another team, even if it's just for some expiring contract. I don't have it in me to do the bench, have DeMar DeRozan coming off. But for this team, it was bad enough last season. At least last season had some sort of, I don't know, belief at some point. Hey, if you start Keon or you start whoever maybe, this team, that is legitimately disrespectful to DeMar DeRozan.
Telling DeMar DeRozan,
like this slop.
Sorry, DeMar, we got to start Neek Clifford over you.
Like, that's crazy.
There's just no world where that's going to happen.
No. Last season, I didn't love it last season, but I was willing to have the conversation because in spots it did make sense. This season, what are we doing? Just let him go. Just say trade him.
Okay, you just reminded me of something funny when you talked about like freeing him and having an agreement. Do we want to revisit when you got aggregated by NBA Central?
This is your favorite.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you said there you believed it. Let's just revisit it. You said, I believe there is a handshake agreement.
No. There is a belief.
There is a belief that there is a handshake agreement between the Kings and DeMar DeRozan if they land Kuminga, that they would flip him for just a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
The contract that you used in the clip that NBA
Terry
Central, it was Terry Rozier. How great would that have been? Handshake. We get a couple second-round picks, and Terry Rozier, point guard of the Kings, making 20. Hey, his contract is about to be voided according to the NBA.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
He's on unpaid leave right now.
Yeah, it would have been actually perfect. It was all lined up. But Keon was untouchable.
Vivek would have saved a few bucks.
Yeah.
And Terry Rozier unpaid on leave right now. So, I mean, gosh, a couple seconds.
Yeah,
and
gambling.
How, like, I know our content right now is excellent, but how excellent would the content have been if right before the Jazz game, by the way, Terry Rozier has been arrested by the FBI the day before a Kings game.
And what's crazy is I was watching because he's been in the news, and they were playing his Hornets clips. He was cooking. He was cooking with the Hornets.
Yeah, he was great.
He was absolutely cooking. And I don't know, sometimes when you make these decisions, the basketball gods or whoever, the Monstars, they'll figure it out. But he made these decisions. And, okay, you want to mess around and stink on purpose? You're just going to stink, period. And now we don't know, and that's Terry Rozier's story.
Well, speaking of which, I know you were talking about when the story first came out about greed and the hustle, and we were talking about the hustle.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we figured it out because Terry Rozier was balling with the Hornets, and then he decided to stop paying his taxes.
Yeah.
Because there was apparently an $8 million lien that was filed against him in 2023 in Miami. So Terry Rozier was balling, and then he stopped paying his taxes, and all of a sudden, you got to just start throwing games for $20K here and there just to pay your giant taxes.
Those taxes will get you every time. And it's around the corner, by the way. Do your taxes. Okay, we're going to tell you one more time.
Do your taxes or you'll end up like Terry Rozier.
Do your taxes. We're not playing around. All right. We're also not playing around when we are joined by 2/3 of the round table, Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli. I have a path. 12 o'clock. I've been trying to tell y'all. I told y'all during the crosstalk with the morning show, I have a path to make everyone feel better. And it's not tanking. It's not giving up on the season. I have a very simple path. I will discuss it with the guys when we return in about 3 minutes. Do not move if you want to hear what this path is. 12 o'clock on the dot. Not a drop top, but we might get one. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
You home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Joined by Brendan Nunez and Frankie Carticelli. Fellas, how are you doing?
Happy almost Halloween. It's been fun, not even 24 hours, I guess, but
fun.
Watching some more Kings basketball and having a chance to let that marinate. Not a good marinate. Kind of horrible.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to be 5-0, they'd be 5-0. But
yeah.
They're not ready yet, though.
They just didn't want to.
Brendan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, some disappointing games from the Kings, but I think also some positives mixed in there for what it's worth. They were toe-to-toe with the defending champs, and if you want to see them go toe-to-toe with the defending champs here in Golden One Center, might have a chance to.
Yeah, and there's so many places we can take this, guys. Number one, let's just get this out the way because I know you saw.
Oh, here we go.
I have a path to help the Kings, and we're going to talk about the path in about 5 minutes here, but I just want to clear something up because it's really irked me. You guys had no problem with the 2 minutes, 24 seconds down 14, pulling them out. No issue. They don't play again until Saturday.
Why do you have an issue?
I just didn't understand it. It wasn't weird. It wasn't weird at all.
I don't know. I felt like it was over by then.
Okay.
I never gave it any thought personally.
Okay.
I do see your argument though, but I mean, it felt like it was over.
Sure.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and the game was over, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, you're sliding. It's early in the year, granted, but you want to stop the bleeding, and crazier things have happened. I think Zach LaVine, I think it was in Charlotte. I think he by himself brought the Bulls back from a similar deficit.
Yeah.
Went crazy, but that was like 2-3 years ago.
Didn't the Kings, I'm trying to remember, guys, it might have been Suns or the Bucks. There was a game where
Houston?
I don't know if it was 14 in 2 minutes 30 seconds, 2 minutes 24 seconds, but the Kings, they blew something. And I know Kyle brought up the Pistons game when that was 7 points in 40 seconds. But
there's been a lot, man.
It just felt kind of crazy to me. Game 5, you're 1-3 at 2:24 to say, at 14 points, you know what, we're good. And again, I know second half of back-to-back, you don't play again until Saturday.
I thought that Doug's post-game comments were interesting about like, hey, when a group isn't bringing energy, maybe I just need to go in and hockey sub them.
Yeah.
And it almost felt like he was just over the lack of energy.
If y'all don't want to be here, then fine.
That's what it felt like to me.
Okay. That makes more sense. And the other thing is, when it comes to Doug, I do wonder when you're dealing with so many vets, when you're a young team rebuilding, you go in there, you lay into them. You know what I mean? They're young. That's just kind of part of it. I do wonder, is Doug sitting there laying into 36-year-old DeMar DeRozan and 36-year-old Russell. I mean, it gets to a point where you know what you're doing wrong. So if you're Doug, first-time head coach with these vets who have been around for so long, how do you even what conversation? How does this even go?
I don't think he's sitting there, laying into anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, how can you? I mean, these guys are who they are. And I'm looking at the starting five last night, and it's the Kings. The Kings starting five graphic goes viral every night. By the way, I don't know if you guys see it, but every night it goes viral. Like people are like, someone's got to stop these guys. Like this is too much. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Wait till Dario Saric is in there.
Yeah, man. It's Levine, DeRozan, Sabonis, Westbrook, and Schroeder. Who's the best defender of those five? Probably Dennis Schroeder, right?
Maybe Westbrook.
I was gonna say Sabonis.
It's not Sabonis.
There's no clear answer though. Is kind of the point. And when you look at kind of the veterans, especially laying into DeMar DeRozan to play more defense, that isn't going to do anything at this point. The man's almost 40 years old.
I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying, what do you do?
It's not really in the hands of anybody in the locker room or even on the coaching staff, in my opinion. And I think if you feel different, I'd love to hear your argument. And you can scream, start Keon Ellis, play him 30 minutes. He played 23 last night. And look, I think he's definitely not part of the problem right now. I'm looking at this rotation. I think 8 of the first 9 players that played last night until Isaac Jones came in garbage time were guards. Your only player that was not a guard last night that played was Domantas Sabonis. Mm-hmm. And any other player, and I know that I think we have DeRozan's playing. DeRozan's playing at the small forward for this team, or has been. Plug him in anywhere else or most of their teams, he's a shooting guard. Yeah. And that's kind of what he's been predominantly for the most of his career. So I'm not looking at it as they got to find the right players to plug in and play, and like maybe Keon should start, and you get back Keegan, which will definitely help. But I'd say if Keegan was playing right now, maybe they're 2 and 3. Like I don't think it's much crazier to expect more than that, but I think it's much more of a roster construction issue. It's not really rocket science. I don't think I'm inventing the wheel by throwing that notion out there, but it's hard to say what should the Kings be doing differently. What can Doug and this coaching staff do? Does there need to be more of a buy-in or this and that? It's like I think it's more just the collection of talent.
Yeah, and we talked about this with Brett Siegel as well. But Brendan, the way I'm looking at this is that it's very interesting how things get worded, right? Because you have Scott Perry, they have never used the word playoffs. They've never used the word championship. It's all about building identity and building a culture. But it is fascinating because do you think at some point, I'm just trying to figure out how a GM can keep it real enough with obviously not saying, you don't want to blame a ton on the past. You want to look forward. But Scott Perry has kind of tried to not make promises, but he also hasn't said, hey, this roster is a disaster and I'm trying to help.
Which nobody's going to say that.
Nobody's going to say that, but just some type of acknowledgement. And he has said we need to get more athletic. We're in the process of still doing that. But some type of acknowledgement of, this thing, we're trying to duct tape and super glue this thing together. Then Keegan gets hurt. Then Neek gets hurt. And it's just been a rough go because clearly he doesn't have the horses. And I don't think he should have to try to sell us that he does, but it kind of feels like he's stuck in the middle of trying to do both.
I think that he does have to try to sell us on it. Maybe not necessarily us, but I do think he has to try to sell the team on that. Like, I think it's been fairly clear that this organization as a whole has no interest in rebuilding, right? And
rebuilding is interested in them.
I tend to think that's the case, and I would argue that in my mind, if Scott Perry was really trying to win as many games as possible this year, you do a lot more than you did this offseason.
That's exactly what I just said.
And so a lot of it is, we've talked about it before. You've talked about it with a handful of people. Like, their book's clear in 2027. And so what do these 2 years look like in the meantime, this year and next? Are we just killing time with those guys that you have and you're seeing the trade value every trade deadline? You're taking calls, seeing what can work. In the meantime, they might end up with a top 5 pick, mm-hmm. or at least in the lottery odds to have a chance, right? They're certainly going to be around where Dallas was last year, and Dallas jumped up into 1. Take that for what you will, right? But I kind of think that they didn't put that much effort into trying to win games this season, which I personally don't have a problem with.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the way to go, but he's also Scott Perry, hired by an organization that doesn't want to just fully reset it. So he's not going to come in and just, hey, I'm going to ship off Zach and DeMar and Domas for anything that I can get right now. It's like, no, let's wait this out. You think this is a good roster? Let me show you. Let's see what we got on our hands right now.
Yeah. And people are joking about the secret tank. And I don't know if that's what's going on.
Like a quiet tank?
Yes.
Well, I was kind of thinking about that too. I think that's what we talked about. Like even me and some buddies were talking about it. They're saying, "What are they doing?" I'm like, "Well, it seems like a quiet tank, but that quiet, it's going to get loud pretty soon because the schedule. I mean, you can't say you're quiet tanking with a 3-11 or 3-12 record. I mean, at that point, you're just a bad team,
right?
And I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. And maybe they go to Milwaukee on Saturday and they blow the doors off the Bucks, and we're having a different conversation on Monday. But it really doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I mean, you have Milwaukee, Golden State,
Denver.
OKC
Denver,
again. You get Minnesota, even though they're missing Ant, but they get them back for the next one. They play them twice in the next 2 weeks. It's just things kind of snowball. There's not really a break. Last night was technically, quote unquote, the break, and the Bulls are undefeated.
Right.
And you have Kevin Herter knocking down threes in the face.
And Matas. I told you about Matas. I tried to tell you.
Matas is
You in the whole league.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matas was a high pick, bro.
LeBron over here.
Yeah, I tried to tell
you.
you.
The new LeBron of 1140.
I'm just trying to tell you, man. But yeah, what's funny to me is that idea of what this roster is. And I said the same thing, Brendan, at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. But then I guess Doug Christie is going to get a mulligan, right? He's going to get a pass for this season. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't, but it is funny. They could be very bad, they're going to say, hey, this isn't on Doug, but wait, hold on. But you told us that you were going to compete. And so did you meet expectations or not?
They had a short leash with coaches in the past. I'm not so sure that this won't get put on Doug. Mm-hmm. It's not a fair hand for Doug. Yeah. I also, I think there's reasonable questions on if Doug was ready for this position at this point in his career. But I don't know that Doug is just going to get a pass.
What if ownership thinks that this is a good roster?
Right.
And that they should be better? Who takes – we're all assuming that they all know that this is not a good roster. What if that's not the case internally?
When we're going to find out is what they do at the deadline. Mm-hmm. And I know that that's a whiles to wait here, but as long as they do not make some win now move – that would be the worst case scenario
now
for this team,
you
to
get
be
John
honest.
Collins.
It depends what we're talking about. Yeah, like something like that, I guess John Collins expiring, whatever, right? But it doesn't do it for me. But I feel like that's when it will become more clear. Because if there is this thought of our roster is better than what they are putting on tape right now, than our record, then they're going to go try and make some win now moves. I think that it probably could go the other way. Zach LaVine's balling out offensively. Can somebody talk themselves into, hey, I'm going to trade for Zach. We'll talk him into declining that next year option, and then we'll restructure his contract. So I feel like that's when how they feel internally about this team will become more clear to us, because I think we're kind of all in agreement this is not a very good team.
You take us exactly where I wanted to go, Brendan, and I'm going to lay out something for both of you, and I want to get your thoughts on
Jonathan Kuminga trade.
No, that's over. You better give up DeMontis Sabonis and Keegan. That's over. He's looking great. He's looking great out there. But anyway, I think it's pretty simple, guys, in the short term when it comes to this tank, no tank. I'm not saying to fully tank. I think there's only one move that the Kings need to make everyone feel better. Even a Carmichael Dave, even a Kyle Draper who throws me under the bus. Make everybody feel better. All you got to do is move DeMar DeRozan. I think it's that simple. Now, hear me out. You move DeMar DeRozan. Keegan Murray comes back. Keegan is fine. You want to keep playing him at the 4, you play him at the 4. Now you're starting Keon. Now you're either starting Keon or you're starting Neek, right? Kings fans right now, the organization, it's like you're in a 36, 37-year-old desert just looking for some type of youth, right? The fountain of youth. They're looking for that somewhere, something to enjoy. You move DeMar, that's more shots for Keegan, more shots for Keon, more shots for Neek. Every single night, you're at least moving towards, hey, Keegan might be our third option now. You're probably still competitive, or I don't think you're any less competitive, to be honest with you. You're moving towards something. Zach is still showcasing. You never know what happens there. Domas offensively has a greater hand in this than he's had. I think in the short term, guys, you could still end up stinking, being entertaining and stinking and getting that top 5 pick. I think that is a a quicker way, when everybody gets scared off from the tanking, you move DeMar, that's 2 slots where you can go youth movement, and I'm counting Keegan there, but Keegan getting more shots, you bring in a Neek or a Keon to start, and at least every night we're saying, hey, look, Keegan took 50 shots, whatever it is. I think that is the quickest way to make everybody just feel a little bit better about the situation.
Yeah, I think that, yes, by moving DeMar DeRozan, you unclog things a bit and you get the movement in the areas where you want movement. Like you said, Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, etc. But I wonder, I think DeMar's making $24 million. I might have to double check.
It is.
I think that's about right.
How do you move that, though? Who out there is going to be calling saying we want to take on the rest of DeRozan's contract?
Next season not guaranteed.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're still having to take on a large chunk. Right now, I mean, the season just started, so you're still on the hook for the most of that $24-25 million.
You'd want to find, like, expiring contract in return.
Yeah, and
which is hard.
It was supposed to be Terry Rozier.
What are we going to do?
That's crazy.
Are we going
to?
That's crazy.
Stop it.
It was.
Kyle Kuzma is the name that people are already throwing out there.
Does he have 2 years? The problem is he's got 2 years.
I think so, but the salaries aligned and the Kings have been tied to him forever. That's not me, by the way. I'm not saying
would do it if he's coming off the
Kyle
bench.
Kuzma. I don't think it helps at all. I think it adds to the problem in a different way. You have another player here. That quote will stick out forever. I know it's been like 5 years, but the Buddy Hield, remember the Buddy Hield trade where Kyle said he was going to, I was about to go off and sack.
Oh, yeah.
I think that still holds true for even a worse Kings team. But I agree. I think DeMar DeRozan's a Hall of Famer. I think he's one of the best scorers the game has seen, and I have a lot of respect for what he brought to the game and still can bring to the game. I don't think that he really fits on this roster. And I think that we're all agreeing on that. I'm saying that as respectfully as I can. And that's why I think that I agree. If one player was to be moved or should be moved right now, it should be him because he doesn't fit the offense right now. I think, Brendan, you put out the other day the Kings are top 2, top 3 in mid-range.
Number one.
By a lot. Excuse me.
By a lot.
Mid-range scoring.
Per cleaning the glass.
Thank you.
They're last in the league in made 3-pointers. They have no outside aspect of their game right now. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that most of their field goal attempts, all of them, seeming are coming in the mid-range.
In the office. They're in the office.
In his office.
All the time.
So that's why I'm looking at it like, okay, if we're going to grade this season on a non-win-loss record, which I'm trying to wrap my head around, it's hard when you watch and the players are playing these games, they want to win. When we're watching from our perspective, if you're a fan, you want to watch this team win. Mm-hmm. Having to go back to that mindset, which has been a while for Kings fans and for Kings media as well, putting ourselves back in that evaluate and not grade on record is going to be hard. But I'd much rather see, like we talked about, Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, Max Renaud, who looked really rough in that first game, but seeing him just get those young guys, Neek Clifford when he comes back, which we should have an update on him tomorrow or Saturday.
So. Yeah.
Having those guys play big minutes because the season we're getting to the point now where if this stretch goes the way we think it's going to go, it doesn't really matter. Like, get the pick you want to get. That's where I'm at. But at the same time, it's like, well, who's going to take DeMar DeRozan? Who's going to take Zach LaVine? If he keeps playing this way, maybe his value gets better. I don't think anybody's going to take Domantas Sabonis' contract.
No.
So, and Russell Westbrook's non-guaranteed. You could waive him whenever you want, or hold on to him if he keeps playing well and see if you can get something back from somebody. But I just look at it as the Kings are still in a problem of, yeah, that's a good idea, but how do they offload these players? And they probably can't until we get closer to the deadline.
Yeah, we're stuck right now. There's nothing that's going to happen, I would say, until January. I don't even know how something could happen before January. It'd have to be, and obviously we don't want this, it'd have to be some type of injury. Legitimately, it would have to be some type of injury. And you got Anthony Simons out there who makes, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much the same as DeMar, same type of player, and I believe he's expiring. So why wouldn't a team that needs scoring go get Anthony Simons would be higher on the list, is my point.
Anthony is slept on in my mind.
He probably is, but he's one of those Malik Monk. Yeah. Cam Thomas, all these guys are just the same type of player that nobody likes right now. Now, a league that doesn't value defense is mad at all the scorers for some reason. Go figure. But that's my thought on it, guys. And if you can, and I hear what you're saying, Frank, I think if you're talking about some other bad contracts, I know the Magic need shooting, and DeMar just kind of clogs things up.
No.
I think the other part of it is it's more so just about this is what I was going to say, Frank. Your argument that this team, if you move DeMar, would be worse, right?
Which could be good.
I also don't know if it's true. I don't necessarily know. I've been waiting for the office to open up in the fourth quarter. He's been bad in the fourth.
DeMar?
I thought DeMar was going to take over against the Lakers, his hometown team, even though he's at home now, even though he's 7 hours away. Then I thought he was going to take over last night against the young Bulls. He didn't foul out Matas. Matas sat there with 5. I'm not saying, look, washed, not washed. I'm not saying that DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Famer. We know he put up 19 points. But on top of the issue of fit, you're not even getting closer DeMar right now that can kind of shut things down and say, wow, okay, because that's what it was last season. The step through against the Mavericks. DeMar doesn't make any sense, but dang it, especially once we moved on from De'Aaron Fox, dang it, we still need him. Or if De'Aaron, you get the pinky, dang it, at least we had DeMar DeRozan. He's not even doing that early on this season.
No. It's a good point because their clutch scoring in general and just clutch play overall has been bad. The second half of these games has been bad overall. I think when DeMar has looked good and had stretches of being able to get to his mid-range whenever he wants, he's the main guy on that second unit. And it helps to have the spacing of Keon and Malik out there alongside him. Like, the spacing of these units sucks. There's 3 guys constantly on the floor that nobody cares about shooting. I'm sorry, but Russ's corner 3, sure, that is honestly cash.
That's water.
It's for real cash.
That's water.
It is cash. Defenses, right here. He does. Defenses are going to let him shoot that all day long.
Yes.
Maybe they'll start to take away that corner spot, but that's it, right? Teams are not worried about Dennis shooting. Teams are not worried about DeMar shooting from 3. I'm sure we'll get to DeMar. Teams are not worried about Domas shooting. That's for sure.
Well, he got it. He stopped the quick trigger.
He made his first one yesterday.
What happened to that? I mean, he was like 38% last year,
No. Well, he stopped the quick trigger.
40?
I think he got to 40.
He premiered the quick trigger during the preseason, and it was terrible. Now he's gotten rid of the quick trigger 3.
I think it's still here a little bit, though.
It is. It's definitely not the free throw 3.
You can't just, get rid of it. You worked on it all offseason.
And why? Why? Out of all the things Domantas Sabonis needed to work on this offseason, who told him, you know what? I know nobody's within 10 feet of you, but you need to get that 3 off much quicker. Who told him that?
I see the logic of, hey, you got to 40% last year, but you only shot 2 a game. If we can make this on real volume and you're still around 36, 37, then teams do have to guard you.
But
right?
who
So I
was
see the
closing
logic.
out on him?
Nobody, but that's why you shoot it faster, though, is because you're trying to convince people that, hey, you do need to close out on me. I'm just saying. I see the logic there.
Okay.
Clearly, it did not work in his favor. But a big problem here is that we don't know what this team does well consistently.
You seen Şengün?
The spacing, yes.
Don't bring it up.
Hey, listen, you bring that thing behind your head, nobody's blocking it no matter how slow it is.
Jokic.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
But Jokic's shot is crazy. That's an anomaly. That's crazy.
You seen Walker
The ball
Kessler?
touches the middle of his back when he shoots.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
Whoever told him
can
that.
shoot like Walker Kessler, okay?
Whoever told him
I'm just
that.
saying. I just don't think that it is hard for DeMar to get into his bag, into his office in the fourth quarter when everybody else is trying to knock on that door right around his office too.
It's like
because nobody's willing to wait in the lobby.
Yeah, it's like when, before Frank had an office, hey, can I take this meeting in the office?
Right.
No, somebody else is in the office.
You're like, no, this is my office, bro. My name is on the front. What are you talking about?
In the tech world, we would have the meeting rooms. And if you didn't reserve a meeting room, then you'd have a meeting with no meeting room. And you'd be at your desk taking a Zoom call with somebody 2 rows down from you because the meeting rooms are all blocked. Everybody's in the meeting room.
Someone's having an egg salad sandwich in the background.
It's tuna. It's disgusting.
Tuna sandwich.
And there's too many people in the damn office. I'm done with the office. Kyle thought the office was specifically DeMar DeRozan thing. I said, no, Kyle, they all have offices.
I did hear you say that.
So I went back and rewatched Game 4 of the playoff series between the Kings and Warriors, which Mark did for ESPN. I heard De'Aaron Fox going into his office on the same shot. And I was like, oh, so he's just reusing it.
I missed DeMar's office. If DeMar had the office, they have 3 wins right now. They're what, 3-2?
I don't know, man.
DeMar last season, they beat the Lakers and they beat the Bulls. They do.
Can we just
He's
say
been bad in the fourth.
I will say, like, Keegan fixes a lot of this.
And he might actually, fine. I'll give you the Austin Reeves 50. They beat the Suns. They win 2 out of those 3.
I feel like he was in his office a little bit in Phoenix. That might have been the closest thing to it. Dylan Brooks was in there in that meeting.
Dylan Brooks made himself a part of it.
Dylan Brooks punched a hole in the wall of that office.
I just want to know what their record is in the fight and if they knew what they had for breakfast.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
What?
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Doug's had so many of these this year,
Doug
man.
has had a lot of
What
clothes.
is this?
Got a lot of cliches. That's defensive pressure.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
I want to be so in their face that they can smell what I ate for breakfast.
They didn't have breakfast.
They did not know what Austin Reeves
They know
had.
what you ate for breakfast.
They did not know what Austin Reeves had for breakfast. They
No.
definitely didn't know what Matas had for breakfast.
No.
According to my math, I think they're 3-2 in the fight this year.
Sure.
They knew.
Sure. There's just nothing that this team does consistently good. They can't defend the perimeter. They have no rim protection. They
can score in the mid-range well.
They can score in the mid-range, but sometimes they can't even get to the mid-range because they don't have shooters on the floor.
Everybody's in the mid-range together. Everyone's
is.
there.
Everybody is. Russ and Dennis are both trying to take 2 dribbles and pull up at the freaking elbow.
Yeah. Real quick, the quote that went viral as far as Doug Christie was concerned, I'm sure you guys saw it because everybody saw it when it basically was the monotony and talking about essentially the players being bored at 1 and 3, which is unfathomable to me. Kyle, can we play it quickly?
Blow-bys, gambling, fundamentally when they do it the correct way, we see that it can be done. But it's almost like sometimes we get a little bored with the monotony of doing things the right way and having success at it. But, I mean, pretty simplistic. I have to go back and watch the film to be honest with you.
Very close to Luke Walton. Got to go back and watch the tape. Very, very close.
What did you think? Somebody said, a couple people said it was Doug kind of not throwing the players under the bus, but saying, hey, they're not ready to play type deal. I do see that we're up against it, so we'll get your guys' reaction on the other side. And we are also going to have a conversation about future All-Star Dennis Schroeder. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121.
The greatest show on dirt returns to Stockton Dirt Track. October 31st and November 1st. It's the 42nd annual tribute to Gary Patterson. 2 nights of all-out racing to the finish, crowning the 2025 champions on dirt. Tickets now at StocktonDirtTrack.com.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be. The statewide special election is November 4th. Vote centers open October 25th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
People are coming from all over to have the best car buying experience at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And right now, it's their Drive in the Fall event, where you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed on your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. See for yourself at SacSuperstore.com.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Sacramento, the stages are heating up, and Sactown Sports has your tickets to the biggest live shows coming your way. Kick things off with hometown favorite Tyler Rich, bringing that California country sound to Ace of Spades on November 22nd. Then crank it up with Spike and the Gimme Gimmes, the punk rock supergroup that knows how to throw a party, November 29th, also at Ace of Spades. Need a laugh? Don't miss comedy legend Mike Epps, live December 5th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. He's guaranteed to have you rolling. And keep the music going with rising country star Larry Fleet, December 6th at Ace of Spades. Smooth vocals, killer songs, and all the good vibes. Then mark your calendar for Brooks and Dunn, April 25th, 2026 at the Nugget Casino Resort in Reno. It's going to be neon lights, boots, and big hits. Catch all the action on the Sactown Sports live events calendar at sactownsports.com and keep your weekend's game time ready.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Brendan Nunes.
Hey.
Frankie Cardicelli.
Hey.
My guys helping me get to 2 p.m. Couple more segments with you guys. And before the break, we discussed what Doug Christie had to say. It seems sometimes we get a little bit bored with the monotony of doing things the right way and having success at it. This went, and Jeremiah Salmonson, he's who kind of turned this into, the Kings beat writer, kind of turned this into a quote for Twitter, and it went pretty viral on Twitter because people just did not expect, I don't think, Doug to go in that direction and kind of go at the players a little bit. Some people thought it was a bad look for Doug, kind of Mike Brown-esque. Some people said, hey, well, the players are the players and they got to do their jobs. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this? Because it was kind of all over, and I think people were surprised that Doug went in this direction.
I didn't see that Jeremiah was the one who tweeted it, so I pulled it up right now. I love that at the end he just put yikes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yikes.
Of course.
I mean, I think that they are asking players to do things that are a little bit outside of their wheelhouse. And at some point, they're going to kind of revert a little bit to what they typically do, you know? And the ball movement that you see in the first half of these games is not exactly a staple for Zach LaVine, Dennis Schroeder, and DeMar DeRozan. You know, it's not that these guys are not willing passers or anything, but when it comes down to it, like, they're best at putting the ball on the deck and kind of getting their own, you know, mainly specifically Zach and DeMar. And same thing on the defensive end. It's like, hey, Zach looks really good the first half defensively and then starts to tail off a little bit. And that, to me, Doug does need to push them in that direction, but it goes back to the roster flaw, like, of you are trying to have strengths that do not bode well and isn't complementary of the roster that you have on this team. So eventually, hey, they're starting to play in that direction. Eventually, they're going to revert back to just what they typically do as players, in my mind.
Frank?
No, I completely agree. I mean, it's all kind of one-dimensional kind of. I think I put it out last night. It just doesn't make sense. Like, none of this makes sense, really. That's why I'm not looking at it as a. It's hard to kind of look at it as not in a big picture type of way. Mm-hmm. And it's hard when you're going game by game and you're getting quotes game by game and you're kind of finding different storylines for each time they go out there. But it's a much larger question, a much larger issue. And I think Dave and Jason talked about this morning how, I think Jason said it, how there kind of feels like we're in this like waiting room right now. We're kind of in the waiting room and we're, it's been a while. We're kind of waiting for us to get called on, like at the doctor's office. We're kind of just waiting, man. Sometimes you got like 45 minutes or an hour in there.
Yeah,
you
got a lot of offices today.
A lot of offices today.
Oh, there are
we're
a
in
lot
the
of
office.
We are.
We're in the office. Michael
Not in
Scott.
the fourth.
Not in the fourth. No. But it's just such a hard. This team is just such a conundrum, man. And it not to get off topic, get off base, but we talked about Game 4 in 2023 or what have you. I think our good pal Drew, the local guy, put up a video yesterday of the clock winding down in Game 2 and just how did we get to this point? It just feels like it's all just kind of one big alternate universe right now that they're kind of trying to fight their way out of. So I don't know, man. I get it, but it's just kind of like, where do we go from here? just kind of doesn't make sense.
Can I have a brief moment of
Sure.
a little bit of optimism?
Yeah, no, of course. This is an optimistic show.
I get why it's a negative feeling around everything right now. I am going to side with Draper a little bit here for a moment, that I do think their game in OKC was pretty encouraging. Like, you took, albeit, no Chet Holmgren, no Jalen Williams, they were in that game the entire time. I think they won for, 36? They were winning for 36 of the 48 minutes or something like that.
I was going to say, what'd you put up? They led like 90% of the game.
Yeah, something like that. It might have even been in the 40s, but they led for most of that game. And I do think, I'll tell you right now, I think they're going to beat one of Denver or Milwaukee. I do think that they've been close in all of these games. That late game execution that you pointed to is what needs to be cleaned up here, and a lot of other things. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is a good team. But I do think that they're not winning 1 out of every 4 games throughout the entire season. They have at least been close in a lot of these matchups.
Yeah.
But you need your recipe, like we talked about. If it's not DeMar, then who?
Right.
And the closing lineup, I kind of think it needs to find some consistency there too. And I think we kind of found late in games, we've looked at it before, like saying, well, Malik's not in right now, and they have Westbrook in. And Malik, I think it was against the Lakers was cooking. I can't remember if it was the Lakers, but he was really had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, they had to take him out, brought in Westbrook.
Last night, Malik came in for Dennis pretty late in that game.
Yeah, and I think he had a pretty good stretch or pretty good run. Malik's had a pretty good year overall. I don't really look at him as a problem. I think out of all the players last night, not the plus minus is everything, but the starters are just a train wreck every night. They're all the starters last night are in the minus 20s, except Westbrook. Shout out Westbrook FC. And then also, that's the thing. It's like, is this a bad team? No, the Kings aren't. That's why it's kind of frustrating. They have a lot of good players. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a team we look back on in 3-4 years and be like, oh my goodness, they had Westbrook and DeRozan and Sabonis and Levine, Schroeder. They still couldn't figure it out.
And then you say it was 2025.
But it feels like the same thing with 2015, back when I was in college, and they had Rudy Gay and Rajon Rondo. They threw Caron Butler on that team. They had Boogie, who was in his prime, and we're not quite to this point just yet. The Kings don't really have a player you can look at like a Boogie or a De'Aaron Fox, and they're kind of stat stuffing in losses. But the only thing I cared about back in those days was, is Boogie going to score 35? Yeah. And right now it's kind of like, is Zach LaVine going to keep scoring 30? He scored 30, I think, in 4 of the first 5 games. So at this point, I'm looking at it as if this team was going to, if we're going to look on the more positive side and say, how can they win games? And if we're looking at it as how can they win going forward, what is your late game recipe? Because like we talked about, if DeRozan's not going to be punched into his office, Zach LaVine's not really kind of that point of attack guy like De'Aaron Fox, the DeRozans, the Steph Currys, those guys that are up for the Clutch Player of the Year award every year. It's DeRozan. DeRozan's your guy, or Malik Monk. And Malik, sometimes we kind of find, isn't on the floor for the majority of those crunch times. They're putting Westbrook in more. So that's what I'm looking at it as, what is your late game formula? And are you going to be consistent with it to kind of give these guys a chance to come win these close games? Because like we talked about, every game has been close so far. Last night, maybe being the only one that wasn't really that close, but it was at the beginning of the 4th. So you got to find the recipe that works.
I already regret my take.
Why?
That they're going to win one of the next 2.
No, I mean, they're going to.
But I think they will have a chance in at least one of these games.
The Nuggets, and I told you, the Nuggets thing, what we saw, the reason that Thunder game did nothing for me, number one, come on, man. No Chet, no Jalen. I know no Neek and no Keegan, but come on now.
And they're on a back-to-back. Okay, see,
and they're on a back-to-back. That's what happens against the Nuggets every time they play, Brendan.
It's true.
Every time they play. So it's just something I've seen before. Frankie, you bring up a good point, though, about the DeMar DeRozan office. And I've gone from trying to trade DeMar DeRozan to now saying there needs to be more DeMar DeRozan. Because this morning, I had the morning shift, and I was watching Get Up on the 4-letter network. They were talking about the Buffalo Bills, okay? And Andrew Hawkins, okay? Andrew Hawkins was talking about the Bills, and he was saying right now the Bills don't really have a number one. Shakir is good, but the term he used was everybody is eating, right? All of the skill position players are eating, but nobody is getting full, right? Or nobody is being fed. In a weird way, if you're not going to move on from DeMar, it doesn't have to be all game, but I've always been on record. When it's closing time, DeMar can do his thing, and I don't know, like the fact that as much as I want Domantas Sabonis to be a part of this offense, and he had 18 last night, when it's closing time, it needs to be DeMar. I have no problem the last 5 minutes it's DeMar time. If you're going to be on the team, you might as well let him do what he does. I don't care about distributing the basketball within the last quarter, really.
Well, it's hard though because the quote-unquote beam team. It feels weird calling them the beam team now because they're still the beam team. Yeah, but
are they
the beam team? What made them so great? I'm saying great. They were a top 4 seed. Was the ball movement and the cohesiveness, and that just isn't really a thing right now at this team.
But what about closing time?
Closing time, there still was that kind of De'Aaron Fox. Believe it or not, did a good job of setting up his teammates. I think he averaged 6 assists per
Remember that
game for his
Chimezie Metu
career.
game winner?
Found him in the corner, didn't force it.
Kevin Huerter game winner?
Kevin Huerter.
Kevin Huerter, man,
Fox
last night.
Fox missed
Both against Utah.
He missed 2 floaters before that.
Oh, that's right.
Before they got 2 offensive boards. For
176, 175 game is Malik who hit the game tire.
Yeah, I just think that I get it. Like, and you're right. With this team, the best chance they have late in the game is to find, like we talked about, your best point of attack scorer and someone who's going to go get you a bucket or get to the free throw line. And the Kings have not been getting to the line either. And that kind of goes hand in hand with DeMar DeRozan not being the DeRozan we've seen from years past because he did a good job of getting to the line a lot. And maybe he's gotten to the line more than anybody on the Kings so far, but it's not enough still. It's
Kings
not
are
enough.
29th in free throw attempts this year.
It's absurd.
Crazy.
Because they're just living in the mid-range. No one's attacking the basket.
And the fouls that do get called, they're not even really that organic. It's the DeMar hand in the cookie jar fouls.
Yeah,
they're not even legit to the rack. You got hacked.
I think that I agree with you. It needs to be the DeMar show in that fourth quarter. And in my mind, if that's the case, I'm sorry, but Dennis Schroeder doesn't need to be on the floor. Like, I think that's where you need spacing. That's the crux of my conversation here, right? Is that you need spacing. Dennis doesn't do that for you. 2 of your best shooters are on the bench, and not counting Keegan Hurt, but Keon and Malik. And I think Malik also being able to get those paint touches and spray out to shooters. I think Malik should be on the floor late in the game. And I see why Russell Westbrook is at times because he plays way bigger than he actually is, right? Like if it's a matchup where you need size, then I see why you need to have Russ out there. But I think their best offensive group is going to be DeMar, Zach, Malik, Keon, and Domas right now.
And that leads us to our last segment. Let's have a conversation about the new guard and the new guards on the Sacramento Kings. Dennis Schroeder, where you at, MVP? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm a plumber and needed to get work in the door.
So business was going down the drain?
Yeah, I went to Staples. They printed yard signs, business cards, even flyers to leave at supply stores.
But at what cost, man?
Well, I saved $125 on my order, and now I'm booked solid. Boom!
Back at ya. For your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. Valid in-store and online. Ends 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers.
eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
If your vibe is the earlier the better, Lowe's early Black Friday deals are a no-brainer. Get up to 35% off select major appliances, and rewards members get free delivery, haul-away, basic installation, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 11/4. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. LG member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Amateur players will be pleased to know that the USGA doesn't object to a friendly bet with your weekend foursome. Friendly bets include soft drinks after the round, hot dogs at the turn, or even a $2 Nassau, one of the most widely used bets in golf. It takes its name from the Nassau County Country Club of Glen Cove, Long Island, one of the many clubs frequented by the well-to-do in the late 19th century. As the story goes, matches between these clubs were often reported in the local newspapers, sometimes to the embarrassment of wealthy industrialists coming out the loser. The Nassau captain J.B. Coles Tappan then devised a format where the worst possible result could not be reported as anything more than a 3-0 defeat. In a Nassau, 3 equal wagers are placed on the first 9, the second 9, and 18-hole total. A $2 Nassau is sometimes referred to as a 2-2-2 bet. Some play better with a bet to keep their attention, others are nervous at the thought of losing. Whatever your choice, golf is a game, have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
This Saturday at 11 a.m. on the next edition of the Travel Guys, brought to you by Sports Leisure Vacations.
We'll dig into the Travel Guys mailbag and answer your questions. You can send us a question at travelguysradio.com.
Join us Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
He's going to change things. He's going to be a big help.
Allen Stiles?
Dennis Schroeder. 2 of 9 last night. Did have 7 assists. He had 5 points. Guys, give me your breakdown, and we can talk Westbrook as well, but I don't want to tick anybody off from the Westbrook fan club. I really want to know what your thoughts are.
Why not, man? Come on, say what you feel.
Westbrook, he was great. Only a -3. He played well.
Come on, say what's weighing on your soul.
No, he played great. He played outstanding. But Dennis Schroeder, on the other hand, he's a real problem. But no, seriously, guys.
He has a hive too, by the way. He has a group of supporters.
Can't be anything like the Westbrook hive.
You have
Germans.
Yeah, can't be. I'll take my chances.
We'll cut what you're about to say, and we'll see how it does.
Sure. All right. That's messed up. Dennis Schroeder, guys, what have been your thoughts about him? I don't know what to make of him. He was taking 16 shots a game. Last night, he distributes it more. I'll give you this, and I don't mean it to be a leading question at all, but I just don't necessarily see him, and maybe he was never supposed to, but I don't really see, it's not that easy to see his impact. The way they talked about him to start the season and training camp, and we were all drinking the training camp Kool-Aid, I was asking the question, are we talking about the same guy? And clearly we weren't, because he hasn't been bad. He's been Dennis Schroeder. And I can see why, to your point, Brendan, which you took us there after the last segment, he could easily come up. I know he's making $15 million, but this dude could easily come off the bench, and I don't know how worse off this team would be.
I mean, I think at some point it's going to have to be a discussion, because he fits the bill right now really as someone who looks like a backup point guard. Mm-hmm. And from the eye test, and the numbers tell you too, I mean, if you're looking at what a point guard can bring to the table, the best point guard on the roster for the Kings right now is Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's not, I don't think it's that hard to say that Russell Westbrook is the best option at the point guard right now for them. I don't know. I mean, I get it. 6.5 or 4 assists per game from Schroeder. That's been good. He's near a career high in turnovers per game at 2.6, so the turnovers have been kind of a concern. The shooting's non-existent. The three-point shooting isn't there. We know that's kind of what he does for his career. He's very streaky, 34% for his career. I think he was really good with Brooklyn last year with them after the Golden State trade. So it's a mixed bag, but it kind of comes back to the main question during the offseason, which was, what was their affinity with him to where the opening hour free agency, you signed him to a big contract, and just looking through contracts that are in a similar range, You have Daniel Gafford in Dallas. You have Denny Avila in Portland. You have P.J. Washington in Dallas. Steven Adams in Houston. Dame Lillard, that's kind of a cheaper deal because he's rehabbing. Karis LeVert, Obi Toppin. Herb Jones is making less money. Chet Holmgren's making less money this year than he goes to 41 next year. My goodness, different discussion there. But it just kind of was a head scratcher to me. And I'm wondering if it was a move the Kings made because we talk about this quote-unquote soft tank. Was Schroeder brought in because of his contract? Makes it you can negotiate in trades. It's a decent sized salary with the potential to move. I'm not sure, but if you're looking at it as Dennis Schroeder should be the starting point guard until April, I really have a hard time agreeing with that, especially from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and it's so funny what you said because Dennis Schroeder was outstanding on the Nets, right? And that got him to Golden State. It did not work out in Golden State. I don't remember, and I know D'Anthony Melton was involved, how he got to the Pistons. But my point is, Dennis Schroeder is who he is. When you were talking, Frankie, I thought, well, he's not playing extremely well. I don't even think it matters. Dennis Schroeder is just Dennis Schroeder. If a team if the Rockets want a Dennis Schroeder, doesn't matter how he's playing with the Kings because Dennis Schroeder is just Dennis Schroeder. And that's what he was always going to be. And for some odd reason, the Kings tried to convince us that he was going to unlock this offense. And I know no Keegan yet, but I'm done arguing with the Westbrook fan club because Westbrook can start. The problem is I just don't think they need to start both of them.
I think that Dennis does help with the pace of this team, and that's something they really need is that like the defensive pressure. We have seen that in the Phoenix game is where it probably stands out most. He has the 8-second violation and then draws a charge on, I think it was Devin Booker, right? Like there's moments where that has helped and then pushing in transition on the other end because their half-court offense looks really bad. And I think that Dennis is part of that. It's not necessarily his fault, but it's just the fit of all the pieces, right? He's getting to the rim, percentage of shot attempts, right? Cleaning the glass again, 15% of his shot attempts this year have
somebody
come
over
from
there?
at the rim. I love these guys. Last year as a whole was 27. He's usually in the mid-20s to sometimes even 40% of his shot attempts come at the rim. It's 15% right now. Because he cannot get to the basket.
Because there's too many people.
He can't get to the basket
DeRozan's
because
in
the
his
office has a crazy line.
DeRozan's in his way in the office.
And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but sometimes he's still trying to throw it up around the rim because I think that's what he's accustomed to. And man, the finishes have been bad. But he's forcing it a little bit because there's really bad spacing. And he's not somebody that's going to help space the floor for DeMar or Zach or these other guys either. So I think you're seeing the defense. You're seeing him push the pace. But this is a guy that excels getting downhill and making plays from there. And it's all uphill in the half court for the Kings.
And you got Westbrook in the corner, though.
Hey, dude, that is cash, bro.
And
it's
then,
really cash.
No, that's water.
Game on the line, right?
Yeah.
Kings are down 2.
Yeah.
Russ takes a wide open catch and shoot corner 3. Do you think it's going in?
I'm celebrating.
I think it's cash.
I'm celebrating with Russ.
I think it's cash.
I'm definitely celebrating. And Frank, I want your thoughts. And somebody dynamic butterfly wants to bring up Domantas Sabonis, so we'll do some Domantas Sabonis before we get you guys out of here too. But yeah, Frank, your thoughts on Dennis Schroeder and what the new guards that came on in.
I don't know. It also, I'm looking at it as far as like the Kings. I feel like we've seen a lot of pick and roll stuff with them, and Malik Monk's done a good job with having a pick and roll partner. I think weird enough, him and Alex Len in the second unit were pick and roll partners. And Domantas Sabonis he's a pass first center. He's trying to facilitate and find teammates, and he's not really an ideal partner for Schroeder, who I think throughout his career, I think he's had a decent amount of pick and roll partners. Mm-hmm. And I just don't really know who that is, or if there's a player on the roster who can bring you that, because they're so one-dimensional right now, and as far as their offensive game plan, and he doesn't fit it. He doesn't fit the bill.
Yeah.
So is there room for improvement, and could we change our tune a little bit? Sure. He can knock down a couple more threes and get those percentages up, and the assist numbers are good. But I just feel like on this roster, on this team, I do agree with Brendan that the pace is good. Like the Kings in transition, like that's an asset, but you have to finish on the play. You have to complete the play, and that's not happening right now. So I think Keegan coming back will help bring some balance. Restructuring the starting lineup. I don't know when that conversation is going to happen, but if you're going to restructure the starting lineup, I think you have to start with the point guard spot. I mean, because when Keegan comes back, who's getting bumped? out of this 5 right now? Probably Westbrook.
He will get bumped.
Probably Westbrook.
Definitely Russ.
But is that the best move? At the best, it's probably a wash. I think it's probably a wash at best. And like we talked about with Schroeder, he's just Dennis Schroeder, and that's not a knock at all. He's been a 12-year veteran, and there's a chance he gets in the Hall of Fame because, again, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's for his resume from overseas, playing with Germany. He's done a lot for them. Yeah. People say it's him and Dirk, I think, for the best basketball players in the history of Germany. The Wagner brothers are probably going to, or not the Wagner brothers, but, Franz will have
the shot
Franz,
at Mo right there is crazy.
Come on, man. Franz is a different level here.
Come on, man.
All right, both.
He's
Put them
better than
together.
Paolo, Franz.
Well, sure. But I just feel like what he's done for the game is great, but that doesn't mean he's the best option for the Kings.
No, but it was what they tried to, the bill of goods that they sent us.
What do you keep? Who said that he was going to? I don't remember anyone saying he was going to.
It was Scott Perry, Doug, Keegan.
Yeah, but
it was. Oh no!
But they have to do. They have to do that.
They didn't have to do that.
They do.
They didn't.
It's optics. It's all about optics, man. That's
didn't.
the organization. They have to tell you.
Domas.
They have to tell you the player is going to be impactful and good. They just gave him $15 million a year.
I do remember having a conversation with Allen where I was very much on his side here of being like, dude, they are hyping him up. But I also agree with you. But this is what they're going to do. That is their offseason acquisition.
That's on you to drink that Kool-Aid.
We can keep it real. Let's keep it real about Domantas Sabonis before we get you guys out of here. Has probably his best game last night. He had 6 assists, 18 points, 11 rebounds.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been that hub that we've seen. I don't really see the simpatico between him and Dennis Schroeder. What are your thoughts on Domantas Sabonis? I mean, all three of us immediately said there's no way he's being traded. The streets are saying he might be a worse contract than Zach LaVine right now.
Nah.
What are your thoughts on Domantas Sabonis? Let's start with you, Brendan.
Yeah, I mean, he was having the best game of his season last night until I'm thinking about the OKC game. The OKC game, he was playing pretty well too, and then at least on the glass, and then Lou Dort comes in and just totally steals his cookies.
He missed some bunnies. Hartenstein kind of owns him.
Hartenstein, plays him well. I mean, I think that you got to keep in mind this is a guy that came back a little bit early from a hamstring injury, and I don't know that it just makes you question if he was moving the best, but this is where there's really too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Because Domas is one of those there, and we're going to keep coming back to the kitchen, the office, whatever, all of it above today, is that he's a guy that finishes plays, right? And he can create for other players, but when you're talking his own offense, he's finishing plays. It's that pick and roll partner. When Malik Monk came into the game yesterday, the Kings were 0-4 from 3. Malik comes in, splashes a 3 right away. Next possession, gets into a pick and roll with Sabonis. Hits that pocket pass, Domas, easy finish, right? Like that two-man game and Malik setting up Domas, that's how Domas gets his buckets. And like Dennis hasn't been doing that. He also is typically out there with DeMar and some of these other non-shooters, Russ, corner, whatever.
I'm cutting that.
Yeah, there you go. So I just don't – I think Dennis can grow a chemistry with him. Zach's chemistry with Domas is more of, hey, I'm going to give you this ball so I can get it right back, Right. And Domas helps him, but I don't think he helps Domas score necessarily in the way that De'Aaron did, for example. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just a roster construction thing at the beginning of the year where, like, who is losing shots here? In the process of all this, the answer has been Domas. And I just kind of think that's what's going on more than anything, and he can't hit a 3.
Yeah, and the defense. The defense is just, and I know we got to go in a minute, but I put it out today. A lot of beautiful numbers. They're all horrible, but the points in the paint, they're near the bottom of the league in points in the paint allowed. They're 27th out of 30 teams, and I have a feeling they're going to probably be near 29 or 30 after you get a matchup with Giannis and Jokic, because barbecue chicken, man. Nobody in the Kings can stop him, but Domantas Sabonis, no offense, but he gets cooked by Giannis and Jokic every time.
But everybody gets cooked by them.
But it's more so. The Kings had to start Alex Len the last time they played Denver. All last year they were starting Alex Len. Was that the 2 big lineup game against Denver?
I just had the thought of Russell Westbrook guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, but think about it, though.
Put my head down.
He's listed as a power forward last night.
No. Yeah. They got Miles Turner. I did not. Kyle reminded me yesterday.
No, that's where
what the hell are they going to do? Then you got to face Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Jokic, whatever. Aaron Gordon.
The athletic scoring forwards.
He picked up DeRozan by his collar last game.
It's true.
And scored 20 in what felt like the first quarter.
Oh, don't worry. After that, we've got Chet and Hartenstein. And then after that, we've got Julius Randle.
Julius Randle is going to be a problem.
I'm not trying to be rude. I think if the Kings rolled Keegan out there and just had him like with a hand in his arm in a sling, they'd be better off with what the options they have right now. I really think so, because
there's no way
they're in.
Maybe
who do they go with? And this is no shots at these guys either. This is not what they're here for. But Isaac Jones, is he?
Yeah, it's got to be IJ, hot honey. It's got to be hot honey.
Against Giannis, you put Domas on Giannis, and you have Russell Westbrook on Miles Turner.
Crazy. This is a actual conversation.
Yeah. Actual conversation.
On an actual radio station.
Strap in. Just strap in.
Russ is about to battle on the glass.
That's why they started calling me fat, because I was talking about Russ guarding.
Did you talk about it on the air?
I talked about it on the crosstalk. They called me fat.
Westbrook
because I said I called Westbrook guarding Markkanen cute. So then they started fat shaming me.
Well, they say diet.
That's all they said.
One word.
And they said, who is this bum? Another Tubsters. That's what they keep saying. So I love Westbrook, and I hope he guards Miles Turner and Giannis at the same time, because he can do it.
Well,
he can do anything.
To be fair, that's what they say. They say,
why not?
He's been doing this for his whole career.
Yeah.
So
he can guard 1 through 5, 1 through 6. Put another body out there. He'll guard him. All right, guys. Be sure to follow these fellas on social media, Brendan and Frankie. Be sure to also check out all of their work at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app. And follow us on social media, Sactown Sports on Instagram and, of course, on X. Thanks a lot, guys. We will talk to you soon, and hopefully after a couple of victories, huh?
I don't know.
All right.
See you next week.
Appreciate you, Tubbs.
1 o'clock.
It's crazy.
1 o'clock. Let's go through this robust schedule that the Kings have coming up, and a team that we need to monitor for a possible move. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. Your night out deserves more than the ordinary. At Revival at the Sawyer, downtown Sacramento's rooftop oasis, you'll find signature beverages, chef-crafted bites, and a view that makes every moment shine. Kick off your evening in style, or wrap it up with energy, because Revival isn't just a stop, it's the heartbeat of the night. Revival, the place to see and be seen. Settle into lush indoor-outdoor seating, take in the sounds of live DJs, and let the city energy carry you into the night. Book your reservation at revivalsacramento.com.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
Thanks to Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli. Great stuff as always.
We bring the boom. That's what we
Be sure to follow both of them on social media. And that was some good stuff, Kyle. I know they were kind of giving their takes on things, but I think the weirdest part of this is just how Kings fans should feel. Like if you were to ask the organization, right? If you were to ask Scott Perry, if you were to ask Vivek, hope the power doesn't cut off, but if you were to ask Vivek, if you were to ask Scott Perry, hey, how should Kings fans feel right now? Or how do you want Kings fans to feel throughout the season? What do you think they would say?
I don't really know how to tell people how to feel, right? Like different people, everyone wants the Kings to win, but everyone just wants to feel good about something, whether that's the short-term outlook, whether that's the long-term outlook. So I don't really know. I mean, you don't really you kind of just put the product out there and people will feel how they feel. I mean, ultimately, I don't think the Thunder fans felt great when they traded Russell Westbrook and Paul George and were doing the tanking for a bunch of years. I mean, that team was winning 48 games and that immediately got torn down. Players that had gone to finals were getting traded. I'm sure that didn't feel great either. I think you just kind of roll out the product and kind of just see how people feel after the fact.
Yeah, this is from Linda on the Sac Chat. I enjoy listening to the Allen Stiles Show, but when are we going to have something good to say about the 2025-2026 Kings? Hard to be a Kings fan right now with a couple exclamation points. And that's what stinks about the Neek thing. Neek being injured, I think that's somebody that we all were excited to watch. The two obvious positives, Linda, and I got this one for you. It's Zach LaVine and it's Malik Monk. Zach LaVine has been great. He wasn't as efficient last night, but it was a homecoming. Very emotional. I don't think I expected that emotion from Zach LaVine. And, you remember him on the Timberwolves. Then he got to the Bulls and he was injured for, it felt like, a decent amount of time on the Bulls, but he was still a human. And he was still growing a family and still out in Chicago and in that community. So seeing Zach LaVine, it kind of threw me off a little bit and just, you know what? Yeah, that when you think of homes, I think Zach LaVine, because of the injuries, you don't liken Chicago to Zach LaVine's home. And last night, watching his post-game presser and just him talking with the Bulls media, it kind of gave me a better look. Oh, wow. Yeah, this was Zach's spot for a while. I guess I didn't really think about it like that. So I would say the way Zach LaVine is playing, it's clearly a positive. And the other positive is Malik Monk. Malik Monk's been great. Those are the two I got for you, Linda. Those are the two I got for you. And one guy everybody wants to talk about, he's on such a bad contract. And the other guy, they tried to trade all summer. Can you imagine, Kyle? Because I know they were trying to save that money. Can you imagine if they actually executed the signage? I know they're still 1-4, but can you imagine if they executed the sign and trade and they didn't have Malik Monk on this team, and it was just Russ and I know they have a ton of guards, but just Russ and Dennis Schroeder, no Malik Monk. I'll put it to you like this: could you imagine the 3-point shooting? Can you imagine how bad that would be?
I was going to come here and say, hey, here's good news, the 3-point shooting. And then Frankie brought up the stats this morning and again on the show that they're just not shooting enough 3-pointers. They're 26th in 3-point attempts in the league, even though their percentage is pretty high. So the 3-point shooting isn't quite there. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it would have just been giving away Malik Monk. They wouldn't have even had anything else coming back in return. They would have just given him to the Pistons and still would have probably had an open roster spot, which I'm sure they would have signed another veteran. But it's not like they were losing out on something by not trading Malik. They were just trying to give him away, and he's been, their fifth most important player this year, I'd say so far.
I mean, I think he's been their third best scorer.
Yeah.
Honestly, he might be second behind Zach. He's probably been a better scorer than DeMar.
Yeah.
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. I mean, when you say pound for pound, I assume you're talking about efficiency and the fact that, he hasn't played.
Efficiency in minutes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some nerd stat for that. Is that per 100?
Well, that does help, but it's not as important.
See,
here.
I'm learning your nerd language.
You're getting there.
I don't want to.
You're slowly but steadily getting there.
So,
let's see. Just pulling it up real quick. Malik, efficient field goal percentage, way above DeMar DeRozan, slightly above Zach LaVine. He's by far the best on the team outside of those two. So, yeah, I think pound for pound, it probably is Malik at this point. His 3-point percentage is down to 52%, so he is regressing to the mean quite a bit, but... Yeah, I mean, Malik's been...
there's a lot on him. He's the only three-point shooter on the team besides there's him, there's Keon when he plays, and there's Westbrook in the corner. That's their three-point shooting right now. Oh, and Zach LaVine, obviously.
Yeah. Malik technically is fifth on the team in shot attempts per game, so I guess there's that. He's the third leading scorer, but he's fifth in attempts. That's something good to look at.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if that went through... Because it doesn't, obviously, you would say, well, Allen, that'd be one less guard to play, less of a logjam, but the spacing would be even worse. People respect Malik's three-pointer. Without Malik, the spacing, the office would be even more crowded.
I mean, respectfully, the guard logjam has kind of been broken up because they've just decided you're all going to play and we're going to play no forwards.
Yeah.
So the guard logjam isn't a problem. Devin Carter's played 21 minutes in the last two games.
That's true.
So maybe that's another positive we could throw in there. Even if Devin hasn't been playing good, Devin's playing at all. Maybe that's a plus at this point. They've just decided we're going to run 4-guard lineups all the time now.
Yeah. And we will see how that works out for them against the Bucks on Saturday. I got a better, and I know there's Aaron Gordon, but the Nuggets have a better roster. I also think that the Kings, not that they match up well with anybody right now, they do still match up slightly better with the Nuggets. Or excuse me, I think they match up better with the Nuggets than the Bucks somehow.
Yeah. Okay. I now that we're here, I do want to bring up this point, which is I know I see people who are like, they're not going to win another game for 18 games. And Dave made the point, it's hard to find a game where they're going to be favored in for the next, 10 games. I think they were trying to talk themselves into the Hawks at home. They might be favored in that game. But most of the games, they're going to be underdogs. And I do want to make this point is that they're going to accidentally win some of these games. It's just the NBA. They're going to accidentally beat one of these really good teams on the road because the NBA is weird. Someone's going to have a bad shooting night.
Someone's not going to play.
Somebody's not going to play. Not that that's mattered so far, but somebody's not going to play. They're not... We can replay this clip later if we want. They're not going to be 2-16, right? They're going to win because they still have excellent players. They're going to win some of these games by accident. And that is kind of the fundamental difference between teams who are tanking and teams that are, just kind of mediocre. That Zach LaVine is going to single-handedly win them a couple of these games. Sabonis is not playing great now, and he might not be healthy, but Sabonis by himself is probably going to win one of these weird games because that's just how the NBA works. They're probably going to fall into some of these wins, but it's not going to change the reality that they're still not a great team.
I know we've gone back and forth, Kyle, as Will 916 is, and this was before we had the Schroeder conversation, but he was talking about not being impressed by Schroeder and also the Kings giving up Valanciunas, and obviously the rebounding has been brutal. Yeah, I know it was a matter of the money. I will say this. I don't know that anybody else was giving Schroeder $15 million a year. So I don't know that you had to give up Jonas Valanciunas because I just don't think, because I know it was kind of either or type of deal with him or Malik, but I don't know where they got that number. I was watching Shark Tank yesterday when they do the evaluations, and Mr. Wonderful, they'll say, I'm looking for $100,000 for 5% of my company, and Mr. Wonderful saying, well, that's a whatever valuation. What are your sales?
$2 million.
Yeah, that's a $2 million valuation. What are your sales? Well, our sales are $500,000. Mr. Wonderful said, I don't see where you're getting that valuation from. I don't know where the Kings got a $15 million a year valuation on Dennis Schroeder. Do you? This is before the Eurobasket MVP, by the way.
See, this is tough because we're never going to know because all of these deals happen, but especially in modern free agency where none of the important players ever hit free agency. We're never going to know because we already knew Schroeder was signing with the Kings 5 days before free agency happened. So clearly no one else had a deal as big as the Kings because otherwise they would have signed him. But the only way I can explain the Kings giving him more than the mid-level exception is someone else was offering the mid-level exception.
Yeah, I'm looking here. When he was with the Raptors, his average salary was $12.7. Besides that, and I think this was this when he tricked off all that money?
No.
After the 1 year? And I'm saying 2022, 1 year with the... No, that's when he went back.
He went back to the Lakers after tricking off the money.
Yes, so free agent, $2 million. Free agent with the Celtics, $5.8. The 2017 to 2020, this was the big one, but this is 5 years ago. 4 years, $70 million with the Hawks. That was his rookie extension.
Yeah.
So since his rookie extension, I know he was offered from the Lakers. They didn't take it and tricked it off. Since his rookie extension, this is the most he's been paid. Not by a ton, but it was only a 2-year deal with the Raptors. This is the most he's been paid, and it'll be that third year. And I know it's weirdly not guaranteed on Spot Track. It doesn't say team option. It's not team option or player option. But this is the most he's been paid since his rookie extension.
Yeah, and it's not by much, like he said. He's getting a slight pay increase over what he was making in Detroit, but he was playing slightly better in Detroit. But the Pistons, they came to the conclusion we're not going to pay him what Sacramento was paying him. So I think we're talking about a few $1 million probably was the difference between what Sacramento was willing to pay and Detroit was willing to pay. But because
Detroit was going to bring him off the bench.
Mm-hmm. But we'll never know because the deals were done before free agency ever opened. So, I still think it's funny that StatMuse, the morning of free agency opening, was like, where are these players going to sign? And it was Schroeder in a Kings jersey. So, everyone knew that deal was pretty much already done before free agency opened. So, we'll never know exactly what it was.
916-339-1140. Dwayne wants to be a part of the conversation from Stockton. What's up, Dwayne? What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey, man, this is getting to be comedy, man. In a minute, they're going to be the laughing stocks of the NBA. I got 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
One, why on earth did they draft Devin Carter so high? Two, I don't see a win in the near future, bro. Look at the schedule. It's tough, bro. It's a tough schedule. They're going to be like 1-10, 1-11 before they fall into a win. And that's ugly. And 3, I'm really disappointed in Coach Christie, bro. He must be a yes man, bro. He must not have chimed in the offseason and said, look, man, I need a better, more balanced roster. He might not have made waves. He just rolled with it, and then they ran it back, man. So I think there's a bunch of yes men over there.
That last point is an interesting one, Dwayne. Thanks for the call, as always. Because somebody on X also said something to the effect of talking about Doug Christie and the roster. And normally, what do coaches say? Well, that's not my job. My job is to coach the players that we have, right? But I do think there is a conversation. Now, you don't have Keegan. Here's the weird thing. Based on names, maybe Doug, and Doug would never have a huge say in who they're acquiring because coaches just don't normally have that. If that were Steve Kerr won multiple championships, Steve Kerr would have got rid of Kuminga years ago. That's just not how it typically works. But I do wonder if there was a conversation, not necessarily what is being said as far as he had a say, right? Or he's a yes man or whatever. But to Dwayne's point, in a way, was there a conversation of, hey, and behind the most locked, soundproof doors, hey, we know this is kind of a rough go. Don't worry. I'm not going to say handshake agreement again, but don't worry. Do what you can with this roster. You're safe. Expectations are not what we're necessarily saying to the public, right? That is the other conversation. Hey, Doug, this is the direction we're going for now. Don't worry. Your job is safe. Let's get through this season. Let's see what happens at the trade deadline, and we'll let you know when this stuff is going to start counting. That could have been a conversation. And Mikal, I saw you on the phone. Not to say handshake agreement, but that could have been a conversation. Because, yeah, to Dwayne's point, what if Doug said, so you guys want me to win with this? I think it goes back to expectations, which was, and what is Doug Christie supposed to say? If they say, no, we think this team is good enough, who is Doug Christie to say when it's not really, his job is to coach the players, not to direct who's on the roster. Who is Doug Christie to say, well, I don't think it is, right? As a first time, I know he was interim, first time head coach, I'm going to give Doug a little bit of grace there, Dwayne, because who is he to just put it on the table and say, hey, this team isn't good enough, I need better players. No, you better be lucky you have a job, because as we go back to it, Doug was not somebody that the Knicks were calling about or the Nuggets were any of these teams. This Doug is a Kings guy. So I just don't know how that looks or how Doug says, hey, I need better players, man. What are we talking about?
Okay, so to the Doug point, yes, I would bring up the fact that if Doug didn't get this Kings job, not only would he not have been a head coach anywhere else, I don't think he would have been a lead assistant or a second lead assistant.
Going back to the seats, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle. Normally the seats tell you how not important, but lead assistant, whatever it is, based on how close they sit to the head coach. Yeah. Doug was like the 5th seat.
He was 5, then Jordy left and he was 4.
So he leapfrogged 2-3 seats.
Well, he jumped Jay Triano, who had interim coaching experience, both in Toronto and Phoenix, jumped Jay Triano, and jumped Luke Laux, who was the kind of pseudo-defensive coordinator for the team that year. So putting that aside, Doug Christie, if someone's willing to hire you, someone's willing to hire you, right? I'm not saying he's not qualified to be an NBA head coach, because clearly they hired him. So he is an NBA head coach. If someone's willing to hire you, someone's willing to hire you. But I will say, to the expectation point, we've never heard Scott Perry say the word playoffs. We've never heard Doug Christie say the word playoffs. It's been about culture building. It's been about culture setting. They've never talked about making the playoffs. We've just been left to assume, if you're bringing in the unction, and it's the unction that the Clippers didn't want, and you're saying that you are a competing team, we are only left to assume that you believe you're going to make the playoffs or make the play-in, because, you can find just enough evidence that says, hey, if everything clicks for this team, they'll be a play-in team and maybe make it to the 7 or the 8 seed. So I guess we've been left to assume that, but in fairness to them, they've never told us that that's the expectation.
And that's why I don't know what happened. Again, Doug earned this opportunity, but he earned this opportunity. Somebody still has to, you earn an opportunity, but someone still has to give you. And when I say give, that doesn't mean he didn't earn it. That means somebody has to extend an opportunity to you.
He was given an opportunity the same way Steve Kerr was given an opportunity.
So with that being said, I just don't think Doug is going to bust down the door and say, I need better players before he's even coached. He hasn't even coached the roster yet. So I'm going to give Doug a little bit of leeway there. And again, like I said, if coaches had control, Steve Kerr, who's got 4 rings as a coach, a bunch as a player, Steve Kerr would have got Kuminga up out the paint years ago. That's just not how it really works. Doug might have said, and Steve Kerr might have said, hey, I don't know that this kid fits what we're trying to do. And you know what Joe Lacob said? And you know what Dunleavy or Bob Meyer said? Thanks, Steve. We'll take it into consideration. And I think they actually did, but now let's take it to Doug Christie, interim head coach, first-time head coach now, and they haven't even played yet. At least with Kuminga, Steve could say, y'all can see this, right? Doug is not going to say that before they even step on the floor. They got big names, and again, they were talking about Dennis Schroeder like this whole thing was going to gel, and to a point, to stay positive for our friend Linda, maybe it does look better with Keegan Murray, but there's just no way Doug was going to barge into the office and say, hey, I need better players. That reminds me of, and this is like a running joke. I don't know about you, Kyle, but with millennials, right? Younger millennials, we were in the time period where things were changing to digital. And people like my parents, we were the last of the breed where parents would say, if they don't want to give you, if you really want to make sure you get this job, Allen, you go on down to the building and you drop off your resume. And people joke about it all over social media and TikTok now, people that are my age, because our parents all told us this as things were changing, and a bunch of us look like idiots going to these buildings, right? Fresh out of college, you go to these buildings, hey, already applied, just wanted to come down here and say how excited I was, and they'd call security on you. People get the cops called on them. But growing up, your parents said, Allen, you really want that job? I know you applied, son, but everybody applies online. Go barge down there. I did it one time, Kyle. I was working a job, and and I won't say the publication. It's a public publication. It was in TV type deal. This is years ago. And on my lunch break at my job, I had applied to this other job, and it was in the Mission. I worked in the financial district in the city. So, tech, you take 2 hours for lunch. So I hopped on BART, got off at 16th and Mission, walked what felt like a mile to this building, knock on the door. There's security everywhere. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to find the recruiting manager and tell them how much I want this job. Give them a breakdown. Nobody else is doing this. This is what my mother and father told me to do. Walk all the way down there, Kyle. I risked getting fired from my current job, and they took my resume, said, I already applied. Okay, cool. They made fun of me because it was 2015 and I still had a Yahoo email. They said, you might want to change that to Gmail. And they refused to let me see anybody from the building. They didn't call security, but I wasted about 2 hours, went back, never heard back. They didn't even tell me no, just never heard back from them. And I told my mom and dad, I am never doing that again.
So what does this have to do with Doug Christie?
Doug was not going to do that. You can't do that. Doug cannot go down to 24th and Mission and put his resume on the table and say, please give me give me PJ Washington. I need it now. Move off of DeMar. Move off of whoever.
Give
this
up
is what
the
I need.
unprotected pick for Kuminga.
Do it now, sir. It ain't happening. You're going to get security called on you, like I almost did.
Yeah, we'll take it into consideration.
We will change your email.
Yeah, nowadays, for my generation, it's like, you want that job? You're not going to get it.
No. You want that job? Cool. 2 million other people do too.
Yeah, you want that job? It's a tough market.
That's what it is. So I hear you, Dwayne. There's just no real world where I think Doug would do that. Not to start, at least. When we return, let's discuss the Thursday night football. We have prop talk. We also have some roles, speaking of jobs, that I might be willing to see what's available. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
You want Black Friday prices without the Black Friday crowds. Lowe's gets it. We check the calendar, and Christmas is coming early. $99 is all you need to grab your favorite select 7-foot pre-lit artificial Christmas tree for the holiday season. And don't sweat what gifts to get Dad, because we've got up to 40% off select tools and accessories. That's how Lowe's celebrates Black Friday early. Selection varies by location, while supplies last.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
As the temperatures drop, keep your home cozy and your family safe with Maverick Electric Heating and Air, your local family-owned team you can trust. They care about the families they serve because they're part of this community too. This fall, schedule your seasonal tune-up to make sure your system is ready before the cold sets in. Visit MaverickElectricalServices.com or call Maverick Electric and let their family take care of yours this season.
Match your way to $50K this holiday season with Sky River Casino's $250,000 holiday cash match. Earn entries daily by playing your favorite slots and table games. Plus, unwrap 100 bonus entries every Tuesday. Then join us on select Saturdays for a chance to win up to $50,000 cash. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or over.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Manny Too Legit on the chat. Whitey's going to say, what the hell was that story when he comes on the show? And he for sure will, Manny.
I mean, it started off as a nice story.
You're spot on.
That was like 3 minutes.
No, everybody liked the story. Ramsey was texting me, talking about eating tacos on the way back from the mission.
Whitey Gleason is spot on.
No, he won't be today.
Spot on.
He won't be today with the sadness. So, it is what it is. Funny stuff.
You had a moment of vulnerability.
Yeah, we have a trick-or-treating going on, and I got to be better at reading emails. I know I really do. Because people are dressed up. I mean, the office looks a little bit different on Fridays, and maybe I'll dress up tomorrow. But somebody just came in, our guy Brian, sales team says, what are my kids going to be for Halloween? I don't know.
Well,
I don't think we decided. I said my wife knows, but I don't think she would have told me.
Is number one old enough to do real trick-or-treating yet?
So here's the problem. She has finally hit reality where she, like I said, the scary movies and stuff, we have to cover her eyes during commercials. last year she's 1.5. She doesn't know what she's watching on TV. Obviously, we don't want her to see it. But this year, like the big spider, we're walking down in the neighborhood, and there's a big fake spider. It's kind of scaring her a little bit. So I think we're a year away, because this is her first year actually being able to look at stuff. So I think we're a year away. Next year, we'll be able to say, hey, that's fake, that's real. It's okay. Because they're so real. She's not even afraid of spiders. We went to the reptile exhibit out there. People were buying lizards and snakes, and she loved it because they're just normal sized. She sees a big fake spider and she thinks that's a big spider. She doesn't have the ability to determine what's real and what's not right now. She knows what's real. Last year when she's 1.5, she doesn't know anything. Now she knows what's real, but it's hard for her to decipher. Like yesterday we were out playing and there was a little spider and she was fine with it. But she sees a big fake spider and she thinks it's a real spider. Yeah, and she's scared of that. So we are not trick-or-treating this year. But next year she'll be all about it. Got it. And at least next year the agent number 2 will be able to go out. Not physically able to do anything. No, she's just going to be a potato, more than a potato. She'll be walking by then. Yeah. But just doing whatever her sister does. But she'll be at the point where she'll just not understand what she's seeing, and the other one will be starting to process it. Yes, and at least, you got a sibling to say, hey, that's not real. That was me last year. You're good. Not that age yet. Yeah. I don't think agent number 1's going to be like, come here, I got you. Trust me on this one. All right, Kyle, we are about to get into a little bit of prop talk. But first, we did want to run the tankathon. And let's see here. It's got to be good odds now. They bumped up to 7. Okay, and now Brooklyn is number 1. Let me run it, Kyle. It didn't work. Let me run it again. No, I'm kidding. It dropped down to 9. So they're only at, even though they're 1-4, they're only at 7? There's a ton of 1-4 teams. And they lose the tiebreakers because Kings, of course. And maybe, I ran it again, Kyle, and they went up to number 3, baby. There we go. So it took 2 spins. Let me reset it real quick. Just
Peterson, another one. Wide open for 3 more.
That's right. Let me just reset it real quick, just so people know who else is in a tough spot like the Kings, and maybe it'll make you feel better. So Brooklyn's 0-5, New Orleans is 0-4, Indiana's 0-4, Phoenix is 1-4. Who is the Phoenix only win against? Huh. Oh yeah, that's Kings. Right. Toronto 1-4, Orlando 1-4, Sacramento 1-4, Washington 1-3. Yeah, that's not a great group. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't even lie. Huh? At least all of those teams have their own pick, right? No, a ton of them don't. Yeah, that's what's crazy. The Pelicans don't. The Suns don't, and Orlando doesn't. If this goes on long enough where it looks like the Pelicans might land the top pick, we're gonna have to bring back the fact, add to the Kings lore that the way the Hawks got that pick was by trading the Kevin Huerter pick to move down in the draft and getting the Pelicans unprotected first. God, if the Kings had just one more game, one more spot in the lottery, kept that pick, they would have been the team that they probably would have messed it up, but they could have been the team that traded for the Pelicans unprotected first. Yeah, it is still early, and we're going to spend some time tomorrow talking about the Orlando Magic, and because it doesn't look good for them. It's early. That's the one team out of this group where you think, hey, they shouldn't, or I'm not surprised, or I am surprised that they are there. I'm not surprised Brooklyn's 0-5. I'm not surprised New Orleans is 0-4. I can't believe the number 1 offense, the Toronto Raptors, are 1-4. Indiana, they're just decimated with injuries. So I can believe 0-4. Phoenix 1-4. Toronto, a smidge surprising, but maybe a slow start. They're still putting pieces together. Brandon Ingram, they haven't played a ton of time together. But yeah, Orlando and to a lesser degree Toronto, the 2 surprising ones. And then I don't know. I don't think a lot of people are surprised about the Kings. I think I'm a little surprised there. Just based on no context, I wouldn't be surprised they're 1-4. Context with who they got to avoid, I am surprised that they're 1-4. So we will keep that. Going for you. Kyle, I did want to discuss this, and we can talk about it a little bit more tomorrow because college football will be getting played. But from Field Yates, these are the coaching football vacancies at the Power 4 schools. Still feels weird to say Power 4. LSU, Florida, Penn State, UCLA, Arkansas, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, and Stanford.
Technically Oregon State, if you want to count the Pac-12.
Yeah, Field says this is going to be a wild cycle. The first comment, should I put in an application for one of these jobs? I mean, Kyle, this is crazy. And Lane Kiffin is going to be, everybody's going to be looking at Lane Kiffin. I know the head coach at Arizona State, another hot coach everybody is looking at. And there's a lot of money out there, man. There's a lot of money out there, and I don't know if you have any coaching experience at all. You need to make your way because this will change your life. I'm about to look, I coached Skyhawks flag football about 3 years ago. Okay, can I get on a staff and make my way up? This reminds me, Kyle, of LinkedIn, right? So on LinkedIn, everybody wants to sound really good. Like somebody will make their own company, and it'll say, CEO and founder of Stiles, Inc. Well, I am CEO and founder of Stiles, Inc., but what does that actually mean? And what is Stiles? You'll see it all the time. And, somebody, and like I said, I worked at a country club back in the day, but I wouldn't be a server on LinkedIn. I would be head ambassador of food and beverage.
I think Always Sunny in Philadelphia made that joke before, but yes, that is what you do.
So I'm trying to figure out, not that I want to leave y'all, but one of these coaching positions.
But if the University of Florida comes calling.
If they come calling, I love y'all. It's like maybe Stanford not too far. So so Skyhawks is a flag football summer camp. And I actually did not coach there. I played in the camp, but we got to figure out a way, Kyle, to make it sound good enough that I can put in an application for one of these head coaching jobs. Because then you just get canned in 2 years, and they got to pay you $30 million to sit on your couch.
$30 million?
Yeah.
LSU might pay Brian Kelly $50 million.
Yeah.
If he doesn't ever work again, which seems like a real possibility, they got to pay him $50 million. And the governor of Louisiana is going on Pat McAfee saying, the state of Louisiana taxpayers will have to pay Brian Kelly if he doesn't work again. It's crazy. By the way, there's a record number of jobs open before November. I think it's 11. The previous record was like 8. Auburn is still going to fire a coach. There's a chance that a couple other of these jobs are going to open up before the season is over. So there could be a lot of college coaching opportunities available. Oh, Florida State, they're going to fire their coach without question. They're just trying to find the money to do it. There's all sorts of you could go anywhere in the country at this point. There's going to be plenty of jobs available.
Okay.
And they're going to poach other coaches, so then other teams are going to then have to fill their jobs.
Maybe I can start at a mid-major, right? Here we go. Head playmaking architect, Skyhawks football.
Oh, the Skyhawks, they play in the MAC, right?
Lead playmaking architect. Put it on the resume, Kyle.
Oh, we played against James Madison. The university? No, just a local youth team, but still.
That's what I'm saying. Because this money is not funny money. This is real deal right here.
By the way, guess how much money UNC is about to pay Bill Belichick when they fire him?
Don't they got to make his son the coach?
We'll see.
We'll see. They did that in Houston with that's in the head coach of
Kelvin
the basketball
Sampson,
team.
Yes.
His son got to be the coach.
Yeah, that was in Belichick's contract, but there's a loophole. Fire Bill, promote Steve as the interim, and then fire Steve.
And then he gets to just sit on his butt getting paid. All right, help me out with my resume, man, and make sure that you apply to one of these college football jobs. When we return, we got some prop talk for you. I don't know why I'm so excited for this Thursday night football game. Maybe because we haven't seen Lamar play in a while. YD Gleason joins us to close out the show. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So my sandwich shop was opening in a week and I needed signage.
A week is plenty of time to panic.
I went to Staples. They printed banners, posters, and flyers to promote my grand opening.
All in time for your grand closing.
Nope, I had it same day. I even got $125 off my order.
Hold the onions. For all your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. In-store and online, same day if ordered by 12 p.m. Into 11/1 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
The greatest show on dirt returns to Stockton Dirt Track. October 31st and November 1st. It's the 42nd annual tribute to Gary Patterson. 2 nights of all-out racing to the finish, crowning the 2025 champions on dirt. Tickets now at StocktonDirtTrack.com.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sactown Sports.
Little throwback Thursday to end the show. Every shot you take, DeMar?
You know this is the perfect song, right? Music psychologist said like there's 5 different time parts of the day for music, and this song classifies under all 5 day parts, so it's the perfect song.
Really? I did know that. I did not. Whitey Gleason looking very yellow today. Mellow yellow? Is that what we're...
Yeah, big Halloween day at the station. Man.
It is.
Oh,
Tomorrow's
he's a
Halloween.
minion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Halloween.
Tomorrow is Halloween, yeah. They asked me what my kids were going to be for Halloween. I don't know. I don't know if they're doing anything.
Is that not up to you? Or
I don't think we decide, with number 2, her arrival, I just think we're just surviving.
Because I heard your kids are going to be DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine.
Why?
Or actually, one of them's going to be Russell Westbrook in an effort to make up to the.
Oh yeah, no, those
the
people.
Westbrookians.
No, it's too late. It's.
He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
It's too late. They hate me.
He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
So it's over. It's over. I gotta go work out after this. Whitey Gleason.
Yes.
You have any thoughts before we get into prop talk and the fun stuff? Where are you at? You're normally a pretty level-headed fellow. Where are you at with the Sacramento Kings and what they've done? I know you probably heard me freaking out about the Kings getting pulled out of the game with over 2 minutes left. Brendan and Frankie didn't fully agree with me, but they understood where I was coming from. Where are you at with the state of the Kings?
I'm just kind of losing my patience with the whole charade that, hey, they could win something.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Because
Let's get on with it.
You know what was funny about that? And we spent some time on this. So then they don't, right? And then you don't fire Doug because you weren't going to fire Doug because they weren't actually going to win anything. But it's just nobody's fault, right? And now I guess they could blame it on Keegan. But it was a funny thought to me. Hey, we're going to compete. Then they don't compete. And they're going to make an excuse for Doug, which they should. Doug should not be.
Yeah, it's not Doug's fault.
It's not Doug's fault.
Coach Christie.
It's not Doug's fault. But it's just funny. Normally, if you don't meet expectations, it's somebody's fault. But the reality is there are no They're trying to tell us that there are expectations when there's really not.
There shouldn't be. It's the same thing as last year. We had the discussion over and over. Is it Mike Brown? Is it the roster? It wasn't Mike Brown, in my opinion. Now you've got somebody else, at least in theory, running the roster, and the problem is still the roster, not the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liken it to, we were talking college football, I liken it to getting your recruits in, right? Scott Perry, and I don't even know if I would count Westbrook, but I would count Neek.
Are you taking this back to when you played
no,
again? Is that where this is?
I actually...
Like when I was recruited.
No, we were talking...
Because I played baseball.
No, we were talking college football. And, you bring in a new coach, and it's different now with the transfer portal, but hey... Back in my day, you had to wait for the juniors and seniors. Then you say, hey, okay, now your clock is starting. A little different now. But, yeah, with Doug, I don't know that his clock, or Scott, to be honest with you, with those contracts, I don't know if either of their clocks even start this year. They got to get through it. No.
Certainly not Scott Perry's.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. Speaking of, Dave, and I had already seen it.
Carmichael Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
They keep on, because I know it sounds like you were listening to Crosstalk. Everybody, people on the text line, I didn't even bring it up all show, but people were saying that I should have responded to Draper bringing me up yesterday about the negativity. He was on your show.
Yeah.
People were saying I should have said something, but honestly, I didn't even think anything of it because Draper did that all the time when he was the host. He used to throw me under the bus all the time.
Yeah, I heard it. I didn't even, maybe because I'm used to it, I didn't even register that he came after you.
Y'all don't understand. He did this like once a week when he was going to be the positive guy. All he had to do was take a 5-minute clip from my show and say, hey, I'm listening to Allen Stiles. And so, no, I didn't say anything. I got love for Draper. We all love Draper.
That clip is blown up.
Yeah, I have nothing negative to say about Draper. I cover the team how I cover the team. Drapes covers the team how he covers the team. I don't police fandom. I don't police how you cover the team. That's it.
I think he's back today at 2:30 with Drapes Takes.
Oh, I'm sure he's just got part 2. I got to deal with Westbrook fan club, Draper.
He lost a lot of pounds.
I'm just getting attacked here. I can't even eat Halloween candy. I got to go run a 5K after this, Whitey. I got the Dia de los Muertos 5K on Saturday. I'm doing.
I understand why people would say you're vertically challenged, but why would someone say you're fat?
They hate me.
I think he's short, Tim.
Yeah.
I think he's short.
This has been a crazy week for me.
I think this genuinely bothers him, Whitey.
I'm driving.
I think he relishes it. Allen likes to be noticed.
I didn't expect any of this at the start of the season. Westbrook, the fan club. I mean, the Westbrook, yes. I didn't know about these fan clubs. I didn't know any of this, Whitey. I'm just trying to be objective with how I look at the team. And now I'm being shamed.
And now it's really weighing on you.
Yeah, well, it's something. Whitey, you ready for prop talk?
Let's go.
I got an embarrassment of riches because the Ravens, opposite of band. The Ravens, besides Mark Andrews, I got two Ravens that always do me right.
You do or Schmelin does?
Well, this is not for U.S. currency. This is just for funsies.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
But Schmelin,
whatever.
A lot of diapers been built off of the Ravens. So let me just give you the lay of the land, Whitey. Zay Flowers, fellow Zont, fellow 5'9"er.
Yeah.
He's my guy. He normally cooks for me.
You 5'9".
I was telling Kyle, Rashad Bateman is another one. There's always a third and long pass to Rashad Bateman. Mark Andrews is kind of to me because sometimes Isaiah Likely pops out of nowhere. Those are my two. You know what's another shady one, Whitey? And you know I love it. Derrick Henry, random receiving yards. There's always some rant. Now, you're only going to have one pass. And if he drops it, you're cooked.
Yeah.
But that's
risky, Allen.
On the other side, I can't stand the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, he's injured all the time, or he goes off for 100 yards. Devon Achane never hits his reception yards. Tua, I don't know what to do with Tua.
He's hot.
They got a tight end that they just never use. I don't know what to do. Well, Alec Engold, friend of the show, we had him on 2 years ago at the Super Bowl. So with all that being said, Whitey, oh my goodness.
So you just laid out all these Ravens and don't want to take any of them.
Because I don't want to jinx any. I'm just gonna go where the bread is typically buttered. I'm gonna go Rashad Bateman 31.5. And that's a little high for me. But Zay, I don't know about Zay. Zay's either gonna crush it or he's not gonna do much. So I'm gonna say 31.5 for Rashad Bateman.
What's available to me on Waddle?
You want 65.5 receiving yards. And I know don't you like receptions?
Yeah.
5 receptions.
I'll take the over on the yards.
Okay, so Whitey, lock Whitey in at 65.5 receiving yards. I mean, I don't know who else he's throwing to, right?
And he's hot too.
Devon Achane, he has not hit his receiving numbers once.
So
and they just keep it at 32. They just won't drop it.
So no for him.
Or today's the day. I already kind of want to do Zay. I want to switch my pick. What you got, Kyle?
It's your game.
I need your professional opinion because you're the big running back receiving person.
He is.
Justice
Him and Schmalin, the two of them.
Yeah, Justice Hill, 2.5 receptions and 16.5 yards.
I'm not a receptions guy. I would take the yards.
I'm going to do neither since you're not feeling good about it. I'm going to go to your other strategy of third receivers. So Malik Washington, 30.5 for the Dolphins.
Who's their second receiver?
It's a great question. I just assumed that was their second. I just assumed that was their third. They got to have someone else.
It's the Nick Westbrook.
Akina. Oh gosh, is he the third? I don't know.
Cedric Wilson is up there.
This is a gross game.
By the way,
actually, can I do this since it's available to me? Dolphins punter, 3.5 punts. I'll take the over on Dolphins punter, 3.5 punts.
You're gonna be sorry.
Sure.
Tua's on fire.
You know what's gonna happen? First play of the game, Zay Flowers with a 40-yard reception.
I like the Fins tonight.
You do?
I do.
Yeah, you keep saying Tua's hot. I mean, look, he's lefty. He's supposed to be my guy. By the way, I am 0-1 on my lock of the day because they got pulled with 2 minutes left. DeMar DeRozan, 19. He was at 19.5.
I have a question about that. The dog of the day yesterday, I believe I had Zach LaVine, and he had 30. But I watched him play. Yeah. I wouldn't say he was the dog of the day.
I don't think he dogged. I don't think he
okay.
Wolf
did have
for it. It was a weird. It was an emotional night for him. He played he stayed in there. I wouldn't call that a dog though.
Okay, that's what
what? I would give him a dog because he finished the game and the rest of them all checked out.
And he didn't want to come out of the game.
No. Did you see me going back and forth with our guy from the Bay?
I did see that.
I love JD. JD's one of the airways. JD, that's the least of my worries in Sacramento. If he wants to, I don't think he was stat padding, but even if he was, we got bigger fish to fry. All right. That's it. I'm going to regret this. Should I switch to Zay? I kind of want to switch to Zay.
It's your game, right?
It's not like we're really keeping track of it.
Yeah, but it's pride.
Yeah. With the dogs, I'm keeping track of who we pick for dogs. I can't do their performance because that's too much, but at the end of the year, we'll see who was the doggiest dog, who got picked the most.
I'm going to stick with Rashad Bateman because then if I switch, first play, 50-yarder to Rashad Bateman. Fight on, USC, right, Whitey? So you got the Dolphins tonight. I got Geno Smith for my fantasy. It's going to be a rough go. I got the Ravens.
Rashad Bateman, Minnesota.
Who told me he went to USC?
I don't know where you got
that.
Why
am I always wrong on these?
Rashad Bateman went to Minnesota.
I think from now on, if you mention somebody and I don't know, I'm just going to go, no.
He definitely went to USC.
I mean, fellow Big Ten. I understand how you could get that mixed up.
Oh, colors?
Not really.
Yeah.
Great feature for you guys. Where'd he go to school?
Yeah, I used to be great before I got old. I used to be a stud at that game, and clearly I am washed.
You want to try Zay Flowers?
Oh, I do know this one. Boston College.
Let's see.
I actually know that one.
Yes, he got that one.
Still got it, Whitey.
Boom, you do.
New segment. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Where'd he go? And who he play for? Thank you to Brett Siegel. Be sure to check that out on YouTube. Thank you to Brandon Nunez, Frankie Carticelli. Be sure to check that out on YouTube. Thank you all the callers, texters, sack chatters. Thank you to Kyle Ledbetter, as always. Great job. Whitey Gleason, Jay Johnson coming up, getting you ready for an exciting, electric Thursday night football game. I really hope you have Prime. But if you don't have Prime, you can listen right here on Sactown Sports. 1140 until tomorrow. Secure the bag. Light the beam.
Don't forget my podcast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go. Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter.
Offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.